I can take the dick off the table based upon my standard. You aren't gonna get hold of this dick if you ain't being the woman I need you to be. You need to realize that you need to cook, clean. You gotta understand that you're not the only woman. And if you can accept that, that's fine. That's just the beginning, because you gotta work hard for me, because I work hard for me. So that means if you get with me, it's not gonna be easy street, because I need to be satisfied, because it ain't no happy wife, happy life bullshit. It's happy Steve, happy Steve.
Being strong with self, understanding who you are, is the biggest defense to bitch ass weak men.
And there's no excuses for the men not to be strong. But see, there's so many forces, and then so many men are embracing weakness.
I can't stand weak men. Like I don't like to talk to them. It's hard for me to talk to these losers. I've always been a winner at the winner's table.
You know, I believe it's a sin to impregnate a woman who can't raise a child, you know, or impregnate a woman who's not fit to be a mother. And I think we have a responsibility in what we see today in these weak ass little feminine boys.
I can't tell another man what to do, but I can't dress feminine. I can't wear nail polish. It's just something that I can't do. Why? Because if I'm walking down the street and somebody's having trouble with a flat tire, I want them to feel that they can come to me and ask me, hey man, could you help me out with this? Because those are the type of things that a man will help out with. So I need to look like a man so they can know where to come for help.
Yeah, it is such a thing as toxic masculinity in the minds of bitch ass motherfuckers.
Talk about masculinity, assertiveness, authenticity, transparency. How can a guy who's straight up and honest with what he does be toxic?
If the media can train you to think something bad about it, you hear the word and you want to instantly have a certain reaction. You stop thinking, you start feeling. And when people learn to think and feel and not think through their feelings, that's when they can evaluate a person holistically. And they can say, is this toxic masculinity, or did I just hear something I didn't like? And why did I not like it? And only let me go within myself to see why.
I don't never look at no motherfucker and say, oh, that's a toxic masculine motherfucker. I never ever had, I didn't even know, that was an invented concept from a weak motherfucker that was like, I'm just tired of this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do and bully you over me with this bullshit.
What's going to make you successful is just understanding who you are and getting your mind right and being happy with who you are. That is the thing that's going to really make you successful. Because after you get all the toys, after you get all these things going on, you've had sex with all the women you want to have sex with, you traveled all the places, you're still going to be you, and you're going to always come back to you.
Why do I do this? Why are we even doing this documentary? I want guys to be in the best position possible. There's no way that I'm raising my voice or calling you a bitch ass nigga because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm calling you a bitch ass nigga because you're doing bitch ass nigga shit. And if you continue doing bitch ass nigga shit, you're going to end up in bitch ass nigga situations. You get what I'm saying? So when I call you a bitch ass nigga, trust me, it's because I love you.
Game Kings 2, The Definition of Man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com to get your copy today. Still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the woman you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I want to tell you about my documentary, Game Kings, The Definition of Game, starring myself, the Boss Mac Top Soil, Rosebud, Ron Wills, Miles Cunningham, and much more. In this documentary, you're going to learn about confidence, manhood, attracting women, and the definition of the game. To get this documentary, go to MrLocario.com.
Some people think you need a sports car to get what you want. Some people think you need $1 million. Some people think you need looks, status. The only thing you need is what they can't get unless they come straight to you. And that's your identity. Join the Masculine Identity membership today. MasculineIdentityMembership.com. Masculine Identity Soap. This luxurious, quality, high lather, high moisturizing, all natural bar soap has been handcrafted with care and consistency to provide a quality cleansing experience for self-care, focus, and productivity. Specially formulated for cold showers. Stay clean, gentlemen. Masculine Identity Soap.
Click the links below to get private one-on-one coaching sessions with Mr. Locario or Miles Cunningham to step up your game. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your specific needs in the dating game. So make sure you click the links below right now so that you can step up your game today. I'm here. We here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. Well, let me get my shit ready and my shit right. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? It is late. Another late night stream. We haven't done one of these in a while. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the game has to go on. Things have to happen because the game never sleeps. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. Before we get started, make sure, let me pull this up real quick because y'all already know what we got to do out here in these streets. Hold on. Make sure you guys go to this website right here. Let me pull this up for y'all real quick. And the website is CunninghamElements.com. So make sure you guys check out CunninghamElements.com. Get the Masculine Identity Soap. Get the Parfum. And get the Shea Butter. You feel what I'm saying? Get all that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you guys do that and get that going. You feel what I'm saying? Also, make sure you guys go to shoplocario.com. Make sure you guys go and get that cracking. You feel what I'm saying? Get the online dating consultations. Also get the massive game collection. Make sure you guys hit that up. Get the online dating consultation. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure you guys hit that up. Get your online dating consultation with myself in April because the game is going to be fire on here so that you guys can step up your game and get these chicks off these dating apps. Also, make sure you guys get master the vetting process. Fire. So much fire, people. Fire, fire, fire. Okay? This shit is fire. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to my lovely lady, April MC. In the building. Shout out to All-Star J Monogamous Player. Shout out to, who else we got up in here in the building? Shout out to Mike Chain, Man with the Cigar, Steve O Baby, Corey 2S, Frankie Shy, Copy Paste Chris, Box and Plug Dave in the building. King for Life, what's going on with you? Shout out to you, Frankie Shy in the building. Dixon Mays in the building. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Aniket. What's going on? Jadism. Kobe Lean in the building. And we already got 2 free calls. So if you guys want to call up, 2 free calls are available. So make sure you guys get that cracking. Shout out to Corey 2S, Amar Mills, Ice Wave. What's going on with you? And who else we got up in here? Shout out to all the people up in here on this late night. So today we're talking about why every young man needs an OG mentor in the dating game. Right now, This is very, very important for this to go down, because what happens is that, you know, you got a lot of young cats coming up in the game and they're trying to learn the game and trying to make shit happen. And what happens is that when you're young and you're trying to learn, a lot of times young dudes think they know everything. And, you know, I was a young dude who once thought he knew everything. You understand? But then what happened was, when I started to listen to the OGs, I realized there was a lot more that I needed to learn. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm going to be doing here is going to be doing a reaction video to MLD, and he's reacting to this young dude named YBCTooCold. I think that's his name. And you know, he does, YBCTooCold does like commentary on, you know, approaching girls and stuff like that. And, you know, MLD talks about dating and relationships and stuff like that, right? So basically this is like an old head versus young dude situation here, which we see all the time, right? And what you got to understand is that a lot of times when you're young, there's certain things that you just don't know. Right. So it would behoove you to listen to somebody who's older and who's wiser and who knows more than you. Right. But when the thing is that when you're young, what happens is that you kind of feel like you know everything. You think, oh, these guys are too old. Things are different. This is, you know, these old dudes don't know anything. But then also when you're an older guy, you can get sort of frustrated when you hear younger dudes talking about shit, because you're like, this motherfucker don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But so this is why you got to have some sort of grace when it comes to dealing with the younger dudes and trying to help them out. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is this, is that when it comes to this game, right, one of the things that people got to understand is that experience is important. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you actually have to have some experience to, you know, make shit happen. Right? Because if you don't have experience, or you have limited experience, what's going to happen is you're going to look at the game from your limited experience. Now, the more actual experience you have is the thing that's going to make shit work out better for you, because you are actually having real world experience versus you thinking you have experience just watching YouTube videos and watching other people who don't have experience tell you shit. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to bring up this video. We're going to jump right into this. Before we get into that, real quick, I got to remind you guys to make sure that you go to masculineidentitymembership.com to join the Masculine Identity Membership to get on the Zoom calls. But also make sure that you guys go to badboymembership.com to get master sexual conversations, 5 ways to get comfortable talking sexually with women. So make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com right now to get that. And the one we had before that was 5 advanced ways to build sexual tension. You feel what I'm saying? And then before that, we had how to train yourself in 90 days to attract and maintain hot women. So you got a lot of products on the Bad Boy membership that you guys can actually look forward to make things happen, right? So now I'm going to bring up this video. And if you guys want to call up, the calling number is 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. And we have 2 free calls available. Oh, actually, I didn't even put up the phone lines. My bad. Let me turn the phone lines on and shit. God damn it. You see, us old heads be forgetting. You feel what I'm saying? We be forgetting this shit. We're forgetting. We're forgetful, us old heads. But anyway, so I'm going to bring up this video. And then, so it's basically this dude, YBCTooCold, responding to a video of MLD responding to his video. So it's going to be a lot of responding back and forth, and I'm responding to this video that we're about to show now. But what's going to happen is that you're going to see the difference between, you know, what older guys who are a little bit more seasoned are talking about, and then also the perspective from the younger dudes. And what I want you to notice is that the perspective from the younger dudes a lot of times has to do with what they've seen on the internet versus what they've actually experienced. And with older guys, a lot of it is what they've actually experienced, right? Guys who have game who are older, right? So let me bring this video up and let's start this thing right here. Let me do this so I can get the better view real quick right here. Let me pull this up and make it a little bigger. Pause. Yeah, feel me? All right, so
We're going to be talking about what's going on in this video, and we're going to be going back and forth explaining what's happening in this shit right here. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me add this back. So I want to get the best. There we go. Let me do it that way. I like that way because both of them are a good size. You feel what I'm saying? So let's start this. I'm gonna start it, stop it, and then we're gonna talk about like what's happening in the video. So let's start this right here. Let's go.
Acting to this guy called MLD, who's this, alpha male red pill dating coach. Someone in my comments said, this guy was reacting to my latest video. He had a bunch of stuff to say. He didn't really like my perspective and my opinion on dating.
You're so fucking wrong.
So MLD out the gates is hype. He's on fire. He's like, you're wrong, youngin. You're wrong, young boy. You gotta chill. You don't know this game. But let's continue.
Child.
So, being the open-minded diplomatic person that I am, I would love to hear him out. He seems to be one of the main sort of red pill alpha male dating coaches. Not that he's popular by any means. If you look at his channel, his latest video got like 600 views, despite him having 221K subs. So that kind of goes to show that the whole red pill thing is dying off. Like nobody wants to listen to old heads like this guy because.
And one thing that I notice about it's not necessarily just a young dude thing, but more young dudes kind of think this way, where they'll look at things that don't really matter, like YouTube views and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? And they look at that as the metric for if something is quality or successful or worth even, looking at. And what you got to understand is that it's not about the views. It's about the quality of what is being talked about and what's being said. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Quite frankly, most of the time their opinions are outdated. But, of course, let's hear him out. Maybe he has some valid points.
Oh, and also another thing I want to say real quick is that there's this idea that these guys will say, well, what they're talking about is outdated, right? When you understand game, right? Game can't be outdated. You understand? Because the game is and always will be what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you can do things differently, right? There are certain things that are in place where, the actions you take can be different. For example, we now have things like online dating, right? Back in the day, you didn't have online dating, right? So you couldn't just go online and holler at a chick. Now you can. But the same rules apply. You still need to be able to, contact her, interact with her, and get her to come through to make something happen. But let's continue.
So the video he made about me is called "Feminized Men Are Failing at Dating," of course, implying that I'm a feminine man. Fair enough. Let's just see what exactly his points of contention are with the video that I made. Now, yeah, I have to make this clear. This last video that I made, I approached 100+ women and realized the brutal truth. A lot of people got pissed off by that video. In fact, I think I've made an enemy out of pretty much 90% of the manosphere because on one hand, I piss off the alpha male grifty red pillars because they're like, what do you mean, bro? Just be motivated. Just go to the gym. Because I was being too defeatist for them, right? My tone was too defeatist in that video. But then I also pissed off the extreme black pillars because I wasn't defeatist enough for them. So you really can't win by trying to be nuanced, honestly. But anyways, man, it is what it is. Let's just get started. Let's see what he has to say.
First of all, I feel like he's click farming for some reason because he wrote over for most of you.
Yeah, it's part of the YouTube game, dude. Just because you do something to click farm doesn't mean that the message of the video is going to be exactly that. If you actually watch the video, the message wasn't that it's over for most of you. But if you're trying to appeal to the right audience, you have to speak in their language. It's part of being a YouTuber and it's part of understanding the content game.
So basically, what he's saying at this point, he's like, well, I gotta do the clickbait. You understand what I'm saying? In order to get the view. So I get it. Dudes will sort of clickbait and say these type of things and all that other stuff. But the problem is that, if you're doing it in a way that's sort of like, to get them to come in, but you're actually saying something of substance, then that makes sense because their mindset is that it's over for them. So they'll probably click on it if they think it's over for them. But if he's giving good information to help them realize it's not over for them, then it's cool. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Okay. Over for most of you. So already leading with despair, already leading with negativity. Okay, already leading with a bunch of trash. That's not good. Okay.
Hold on, we got a call real quick. 239, what's popping? Who this?
Yo, this is Caleb. I sent $10 to the PayPal.
All right, that's what's up. So what's going on, fam?
Man, I just had a great realization from watching your latest program on the Bad Boy membership. There's one thing you mentioned that really got me to keep talking to more women in general. And combine that with one of the programs you mentioned subtly. It was like master approaching women in under 30 days. I legit talked to every woman in front of me and closed the deal literally on, it literally was in me. Like I just did it. I didn't hesitate, nothing like that.
That's what's up.
I had to come back and put that out there because, you know, before I was just walking past women. I would like maybe flirt with one or two, but then I'd be like, you know, I did enough for right now until I feel like talking to the next one. But now when you have that mindset that, you know, it's just something you do normally, as you always say in your videos, then you're literally just going to do it. Cause like, it's like literally drinking water. You want to get that drink of water, just grab it, drink it. You don't hesitate to do nothing. These women are different than anything else, just like you said.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you just got to listen. Though when you actually go out there and do it, you realize how much of it is not really a big deal. You understand what I'm saying? And so you get immersed in it. So you realize all that fear you had was just on some bullshit at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying?
No, that's a fact. It really was like, and I realized that like whole bubble where, you know, guys say that they have like a feeling when they see a hot woman they want to talk to and they can't.
Right.
That's just all in your head.
Exactly.
It doesn't actually exist.
That's a fact. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of guys just got to learn how to get over that fear and then go out there and do the thing that they need to do. That's basically all it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. But I'll say, guys, you got to go on Shop Locario and get that master approaching woman in under 30 days.
Facts.
Shoot, everyone needs that. They just tune into this stuff.
That's a fact. Real talk, fam.
And the crazy part is I got that like a year and a half ago, and it now just clicked why I actually had to do that, you know, combined with some of the stuff on the membership. And that's why I realized all the stuff connects because, like, let's take the one program where I'm not sure what it's called, but you know how guys want to get more comfortable talking to hot women and, you know, actually being able to get one. I think there was one called that like around June or July or August. You remember the name of that one?
You're talking about the how to train yourself in 90 days to attract and maintain hot women? That one?
Yeah, exactly. That was the one.
Yeah, and that's on the Bad Boy membership.
So basically, I was connected to that.
Right, exactly. So guys, yeah. So guys, you got to get that. Go to badboymembership.com, join the membership, get that program. That's a fact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be in the chat, but I appreciate the show, and you know, I had to call in for this because it really just clicked today for me. And I never had this type of sequence in my life, and now I see it for myself.
Real talk. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you calling in, fam. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Great show so far.
Yes, sir. All right, mahalo. All right, so guys, if you want to call up, 844-672-7300 is the number. All right, so let's get back to this real quick. Let's see what they talk about.
Terrible. Okay.
Yeah, and if I led with the type of shit you lead with, nobody would be watching my channel because, quite frankly, like nobody really wants to hear you speak.
So that's
and one thing I want to say real quick though is that what happens is I notice with a lot of younger dudes. A lot of younger dudes don't really have respect for older dudes. You understand? Now, you might say, well, the older dudes don't got respect for the younger dudes, right? What you have to understand is that when a dude is older than you and more experienced than you and have more life experience than you, right? A lot of times when they're talking to you, it's not about them trying to disrespect you. It's about them trying to put you onto game. But what happens is that they have to give you that type of energy so that you can calm your ego down. You understand? Because the thing is this, the YBCTooCold dude, right? The younger dude that's talking, right? What happens is that he thinks just off the rip that MLD, which is the older guy, basically is on some bullshit and don't know what the fuck he's talking about and all this other stuff. But he's only feeling that way because he's coming at him. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
First like red flag about this channel. And he has this stuff. This stuff too, like she's getting piped, not paying. Like this is also a lie. The fact that like, oh, every girl is out here talking to a guy right now, and every girl has somebody they're having sex with right now.
Yeah, where in the title or thumbnail does it say that, dude? Like the title of the video is Signs She's Cheating tier list, and the thumbnail is conducive to the title, right? You're drawing implications and assuming I'm saying things that I'm not even saying.
Now, that's not true. That is not true at all. All women are not sexually active. Men have a hyper-sexualized mind. And so they think that like, oh, because I want sex and they have access to all these mates, they must be having sex with all these guys. And it's just not the case. Just cooked. This whole channel is just mega cooked. Okay. Well, okay. He has Richard Cooper at the bottom. So that's really good.
Yeah, and I'd put you right next to him if I knew you.
So this guy, what he does also is he ranks dating coaches and he ranks dating things and topics and all that other stuff. So that's what he's talking about there. But we going because I want you guys, as we get into this video, because I watched this whole video earlier, and this is why I want to do this. When we get more into this, you're going to notice that there are certain things that the younger dude thinks, but is not necessarily accurate, right? And then there are certain things that MLD is going to say, right, that the younger dude is going to think isn't accurate because MLD is an old head and he thinks the old head doesn't know what he's talking about because he thinks that there's something different about the game in 2025. But let's continue.
Existed before I made this tier list.
So again, this kid has no idea what he's talking about. Okay. And you're going to see what I'm talking about right here. So this is the video here. Okay. And first of all, just looking at him, he has like that Zoomer fucking like misery look to him. Like when they're just like, I wouldn't be surprised if this kid was addicted to pornography.
So far, this guy hasn't even watched a second of the video. And
see, now this is the thing. I don't think you need to necessarily talk about how a motherfucker looks or anything else outside of the information, right? That's why a lot of times, I don't really take a person seriously if they're critiquing me and they're talking about something else. Like you need to critique specifically on the talking points and what we're saying, because that's what the people are going to learn and what the people can take in and actually use. So the thing is, whenever somebody's critiquing, because again, you can do it all in fun or whatever, but if you're doing too much of talking about the character, then you're taking away from the actual information. But let's continue.
He's already making personal attacks, making assumptions about, who I am, what I'm addicted to. So it's clear he sort of made this live stream or this video with an agenda in mind. Like he was in it to really, rip at me. He's not really willing to hear me out. I can already tell all the words are going to fly past his head. He's probably not even going to admit when he agrees with me.
People don't understand just how bad things have gotten. People think the shit's a joke. If you guys...
So, first of all, let's correct that. He says people don't understand how bad things have gotten. No. You don't understand how bad men let this happen.
Yeah, dude, all I said was things have gotten bad. I never gave any particular reasons why yet. If you actually watch the video, I will. And eventually I actually explain why things have gotten bad and say, yes, in fact, men have let this happen and should.
Now, what you got to understand is this, right? Is that things are not bad. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. See, he's saying things have gotten bad. He's saying the men let shit happen and made it go bad. There's actually nothing happening that's bad. There's only what's happening, and are you in a position for things to happen the way you want it to happen? Meaning, do you have game or do you not have game? Because if you have game, things are going to happen in the way you want it to happen. If you don't have game, then what's going to happen is that things are going to happen in a way that you don't, and then you're going to think about that as bad. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy. Let's continue.
To raise their standards. You're interpreting my point in such a way as to make it seem like you disagree when you literally agree with me. This guy is just grasping at straws here.
You see, already the mindset is a victim. Things are happening to me. This is happening to me.
No, saying how bad things have gotten is a neutral statement. Literally, all I said was things have gotten bad. This guy's trying so hard to make.
But see, again, this is the thing. A lot of people think things have gotten bad, but things are the same way it's been. There's always been the guys who attract women, and then the large amount of guys who have a hard time attracting women. It's always been this way. See, even back in the day when you had, for example, more men working and more women staying at home, like in the 40s and 50s and all that other shit, right? Those dudes who had wives still were bad with women, right? It was just that society made it easier for them to get a wife, right? There were things in place that made it easier for them to get the wife. For example, since the woman couldn't work, it was more advantageous for her to actually latch onto a man, right? Because the men could work. So she's like, well, to survive, let me go with this guy. But that doesn't necessarily mean she was really, really into that guy, right? But even back then, you had guys who were the most attractive who got more of the women. You understand? It's just like, for example, they had a show back in the day called Happy Days, where the show's premise was, so it was supposed to take place back in the day. And they had a character called the Fonz. The Fonz was the cool guy that all the ladies liked. You understand what I'm saying? So it was always the same thing. It was always dudes who had game, dudes who were attractive, and then there were the other guys. It's always been that way. Now, the reason why it seems like things are bad now is because we have social media, so you can hear all the guys who are having a hard time complain. That's why it seems like it's bad. Oh, the game is it sucks, these women. It's because everyone can have a voice now. So you hear it all the time. And most guys don't have game, which means you're going to hear it a lot. But let's continue.
Make a point here.
This is terrible. The bad things are happening. Bad things are happening. No, dude. No. Bad things happen all the time. Okay? Bad things happen all the time. And that's just not okay. Okay? Like, everything is right now, the way things are happening right now is 100% because of men, not because women. Women act this way because men collectively have been just emasculated to be a masculine man. They're not going to the gym. They're not lifting weights. They're not eating proper diet. They're not sleeping well.
Dude, I don't know what kind of boomer world you live in, but every NPC and their mother goes to the gym these days, especially guys my age. The fuck you mean, oh man, the reason guys are incels is because they're not going to the gym. What kind of gaslighting are you on, bro? More guys in Gen Z are going to the gym than ever, and inceldom is the highest it's ever been.
So the thing is, you don't need to go to the gym to be a masculine man, right? But what happens is that if men or a man is having an issue with a woman, it's always his fault. So yes, it's a man's fault why he's having a hard time, right? But understand that that's always been the case. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that since that's always been the case, it's not like things have gotten bad. It's just, it's been bad all the time for guys who don't have game. But let's continue.
Typical red pill, go to the gym cope. Try telling this guy the reason he's an incel is because he's not going to the gym. Obviously, these things help. I'm not saying that the things he's mentioning aren't important. Of course, they're crucially important. But most guys are struggling because they're either not getting enough exposure, their looks are subpar, or they have terrible social skills. Guys being addicted to PMO and stuff like that is more of a symptom of struggling with women than a cause. Like, everything he mentions here helps, but the extent to which they help is overblown.
No, so 35 seconds in and I'm already triggered. Let's go.
I the poll on my channel. I made this a while back. 60% of people said they haven't gotten any sex, any intimacy.
So it's 56, so he's inflating the number to obviously make himself seem like some authority figure.
Yeah, I'm clearly inflating the number on purpose to manipulate my audience into perceiving me as an authority, even though I literally included the poll percentage and highlighted it in red, you fucking idiot.
Most of the guys that I see in these relationships, it's so brutal.
All right, let me take a call real quick. 612 was popping. Who this?
Hey, Mr. Locario, this is Tim. I sent it to your Venmo.
All right, that's what's up. Appreciate it.
So what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, so I was out at the singles event tonight. Talked to a good amount of women. It was a good time, and really just talking to not just the women, but just talking to everybody in the spot. And it was a great time. Learned a lot trying to implement this game out here. But one question I did have just was a couple situations that I had where like the women and like a couple of her friends are like walking by, and I like try to holler at the chick. And then the friend obviously like is like, no, we're going this way, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I know like, if she's really down, right, her friend, like, or she's going to probably like, hey, fuck off. Like, let me talk to this dude. But at the same time, I know women like are in the group thing and she's like pressure. So is there any way to combat that situation? Or is it just like, if she doesn't stop, it's just like, it's a wrap?
How old were they?
What?
How old were the women?
I don't know, probably like 25 to 35, somewhere in that range.
25. I'm guessing they were younger. They were probably in their early to mid 20s. That usually is the type of shit that happens when you're dealing with younger women. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case and the woman keeps, moving, right, then you just got to let that shit go. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what happens is that in those particular situations, what usually happens is that if the girl is first of all, if the woman is pulling her friend, right? That's usually shit young chicks do, right? That's one. But two, if that's happening, right, and the woman is already in a group where that's going down, right? Even if the girl stops a lot of times, the girl will still try to pull her friend and then she's going to continue to walk anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that she's in a group where she has a girlfriend that would do that, you understand what I'm saying, is already, on some bullshit. So what happens is that you shouldn't even bother with that chick because she's part of that group. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Like let them pass. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think
what happened. No, I was gonna say this. What would happen is that if she really wanted to talk to you, once her girlfriends pulled her, she would have like came back to you. If that was the case. But in most cases, that's not what's going to happen. She's just going to go with the friends. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. That's what happened. And I get what you're saying. Like the younger chicks, they do that shit. Like this is like a single time. People are like fucked up. And these are definitely like the youngest one I talked to there was probably like, I don't know, like 27. So, but I understand. I get the point. Like if she was really interested, she'd just stop and she'd be like, no, hold off. Like, let me talk.
Right.
To this guy for like a half a second or however long he wants to talk to me and just cooperate. So, but yeah, I appreciate you taking my call.
Just let the ass pass and then you just talk to some other chick who's not, in an immature situation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right.
Sir, I'm holler at you.
Thanks.
All right, peace. All right. So let me get back to this. And here we go. Hold on.
Brutal, man. When you really start paying attention, most of the guys that I see are dating ugly women, and it's not even physically ugly. It's like internally ugly women, right? And there's an abundance of this kind of woman.
So another thing is this: how does he know that these women are internally ugly? How does he I see a guy and they're dating a ugly woman with ugly.
I don't know, bro. Maybe because I talked to them. Has it ever crossed your mind that you were able to speak to people and get a read on their character and personality without like having to know them for years? Also, I tried my best not to say this in the video, but yes, a lot of them were physically ugly too. And if I'm being honest, all it takes is one look to come to that conclusion.
I'm torn. Okay.
Now let me stop there for a second. And we're gonna hear this a little bit more in the video. Is that guys have to stop talking about physical attraction like it's a fact. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're like, oh, well, this girl is physically ugly. Yes, to you. And you cannot be the end all be all of what is attractive. You understand? Your opinion is not the end all be all of what is attractive because you're just talking about what you think. And so a lot of guys will say shit like, well, there's objective attractive. No, there's no such thing as objectively attractive. It doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
But I am actually happy there's all this bad content out there because when people find my channel, they always say, damn, MLD, you're so positive. Damn, MLD, you're so realistic in a good way, not the bad realistic. They're like, damn, MLD, you know, like you give me hope. Damn.
You mean, damn, MLD, you give me cope, because that's exactly what you're feeding your audience.
Like there is a way, there is a possibility for us to do this. Would you want to hang out with this guy? Would this guy, like, who would you rather go have a beer with?
Yeah, guys, who would you rather have a beer with? This 40-year-old unk who's supposed to be raising a family right now, but is spending his night huffing and puffing over a guy half.
And that's interesting. He says a 40-year-old guy who should be raising a family right now. Right? And let's take this call real quick first, and we're gonna get back to that. 816 was popping. Who this?
What's going on? It's Aaron.
What's going on? You donate, you're taking a free call.
I'm gonna take a free call.
All right, what's going on?
Yeah. So, would you? There is a such thing as conventional beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So, how does that factor into the game? You know.
What do you mean?
Like, I know that, you know, looks are subjective, but there are particular women that will be considered conventionally attractive. So does that even matter? Does that even factor into the game at all, you think?
No, what happens is that if a woman is conventionally attractive, then what's going to happen is that she's going to have a particular experience dealing with men, because there's going to be a large number of men who might find her attractive because she looks attractive based on what society, or, you know, whatever society she's in, says that this is the attractive type of woman. You understand what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that doesn't mean anything, because it only means something to the individual. So meaning that the only woman that is attractive to, or to say this, you are the only one whose opinion on what attractive is matters. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're fucking the girl. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I mean is that if you see a woman and you find her attractive, right? And everyone says, oh, she ugly. It don't matter, because you find her attractive. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's so, and the opposite is true. A lot of guys can be like, oh, this woman is hot, she's sexy. And you'd be like, nah, that ain't it. You understand what I'm saying? So all that matters is do you find her attractive? Because you're the one who's gonna date her, fuck her, or whatever the fuck it is. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't think it's gonna be harder if a woman is conventionally attractive just because so many, like, it's more people that want to get with her?
No, because the thing is that you don't know what this woman likes. You don't know this woman's history. You don't know what this woman finds attractive sexually. You have no clue. You see what I'm saying? So just because a woman looks a certain way, that does not determine what she's going to be attracted to or what she's going to like or any of that type of stuff. So what happens is this, is that let's say you have a woman that a guy or guys would consider conventionally attractive, right? And she's at like an event. And let's say there's 100 guys in there, right? And let's say 80 of those guys think she's attractive, right? Because she has the conventionally attractive look. So what happens is that, let's say out of those 80 guys who try to holler at her, right? She might, let's say, be physically attracted to like 5 of these dudes. You understand what I'm saying? Now, what happens is that for those 5 guys, that's not going to be hard for them to attract her because she's already attracted to them for whatever reason. You see what I'm saying? So why would it be harder to attract her when she's already attracted to those guys? You see what I'm saying? So if a woman is conventionally attractive, she's always going to be attracted to somebody or some types of guys. So if you're the type of guy she's attracted to, how would it be hard to attract her if she's already attracted to the type of guy you are? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess you could just say it would just be more of the type of guy she's attracted to would gravitate to her.
Right. And the thing is, the reason why a lot of guys think that women who they would consider conventionally attractive is harder to attract, because in their mind, they think that there are other men who are more attractive than them and that she would prefer those other guys, which is basically just a form of insecurity, right? So they already downplay themselves because they think, well, she looks like the type of woman that a lot of guys would like. And because I don't believe that I'm attractive and there's other guys who are more attractive than me, she's going to pick them over me. So therefore, it's going to be harder for me to get her because she's going to pick those guys over me. You see what I'm saying? That's the idea that a lot of guys have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that idea.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that idea, but yeah, I feel you. I mean, I could have a argument back, but I'm gonna just take that. I'm gonna go ahead and donate power. I got another question.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right. So let's do this. So what I wanted to say about this, where he said, you know, you're 40, you should have a family, right? I gotta hit him with the button. So what happens is that a lot of guys who, you know, watch a lot of stuff on the internet, and especially a lot of younger dudes, right? They still have this idea of what they're supposed to be doing at a certain age. But that is because of societal programming. So societal programming makes you think that you have to do a particular thing a certain way based on the age, or based on where you live, or based on all these other different things. You see what I'm saying? But that's not true. See, a man does what he wants based on his masculine identity. Shout out to Miles. But let's continue.
His age, or the guy half his age.
You know, because I'm hilarious. I'm a fun guy. And I'm just not this ball of misery. I go, drum, here we go again. Oh, the dating market is collapsing.
Dude, why do these red pill guys glaze themselves so much? Like, this guy can't go a minute without talking about himself and fucking, you know, saying some, oh, guys, look at me. Like, he's literally trying to convince his 20 live viewers to give him a chance and go have a beer with him.
Like, leave that shit for Richard Cooper and Rolo, okay? No, okay? And I get it. If I was old and out of touch and had no game like them, I'd be fucking miserable too.
You are old and out of touch, brother. You're pushing 40. You have no family. You cope by geomaxing and going to the Philippines to...
See, again, you're pushing 40 and you have no family. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that you have a lot of people who, in their brains, they believe, because where do you get the idea that when you're 40, you're supposed to have a family? Where did they get that idea? I'll wait. You feel what I'm saying? That's societal programming. So a lot of times they don't realize that they're programmed by society, and what they think is based on what they've been conditioned to think. You see what I'm saying? This is why you have a lot of guys who, ends up in, hold on. Aaron, don't talk this shit. Do not talk this shit. Do not talk this shit. Because if you're talking this shit, I'm going to have to block you. Do not talk this shit. I'm putting you in timeout. Anyway, so let's continue.
Date 4s while LARPing as some high-value guy who figured the dating equation out. I guarantee you guys, if he went and did 100 approaches at some college campus I was at, he'd get brutalized and wouldn't get a single number. It's funny hearing this old cell manlet talking about how he has game. What game, bro? Like, anybody can get their passport and beta bucks for broke women. You're not special, bro.
Could you see this like racially ambiguous, kind of weird looking, kind of handsome guy? That's me. And you're like, why is this guy so happy? And how does he get all these women? And how is he making all this money? And
you mean all these Asian women that God knows on a bounce of probabilities could be men?
Well, I'm so angry.
He's saying the Asian dudes can be mad. So this is the thing. And when we're talking about this type of stuff, because I know MLD for years, and MLD is a student of Player Supreme, rest in peace, Player Supreme, right? So what happens is this, right? So I don't know what MLD is doing overseas. You understand what I'm saying? But what I doubt he's doing, and I don't know this for sure, but what I doubt he's doing is him feeling like he has to go overseas like a passport bro to get sex. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is that if you're going overseas to fuck with whoever you're fucking with, but you don't need to be there, that's different if you're going overseas because you feel like you have to be there. You understand? That's two different things, but let's continue.
Dude, you don't have game. The biggest problem with guys, the biggest problem with guys is they don't realize how bad they are with women, and they refuse to accept it. And what do? They blame outward. They blame society. They blame the economy. They blame the fucking Jews.
Yeah, guys, if you're complaining about the dating market, you should just get rich and geomax to the Philippines like this guy, and then beta bucks for broke women.
And the reality is, your life is your fault, good or bad, period. Period, period, period.
Oh, so the 5'4" guy born in the slums of Bangladesh. Yeah, man, it's his fault for being dealt such a bad card at birth. Or the kids born in a war zone in Gaza. Like, yeah, it's their fault, man. It's their fault. They should take responsibility. Like, as much as I want people to empower themselves to take responsibility for their lives and have autonomy over it, claiming that external factors outside your control have no influence on your results is arrogant at best, retarded at worst.
So what happens a lot of times is when it goes to these arguments, right? A lot of times people go to the extremes. They're like, man, well, if you were born in a village and they chopped off both your arms and your feet and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get it. We understand, right? Now, what happens is that what people don't understand also is this, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but, you know, I'll say a little bit of it, is that what happens is that when whatever happens, the circumstances that happen don't necessarily matter. How you respond and react to certain circumstances is what matters, right? This is why you can have a person who's rich, famous or whatever, has all the material things in the world and they freaking delete themselves. Why? Because the circumstances didn't matter. How they respond, their mentality to the circumstances are the issue. Now, are there certain things that are more difficult to be in certain circumstances? Absolutely. Are things going to be harder for other people than others? Absolutely. Right? Because I don't wish no hardship on nobody like that, where if it's a dire situation. But what happens is that when we talk about the idea and the concept of you taking responsibility, you understand what I'm saying? If you're going to the extreme, what happens is that you're trying to take the importance of the idea of taking the responsibility out of the question. You're invalidating that argument by doing something extreme. You understand what I'm saying? Just like, for example, like, you know, I could say, for example, you know, we live in a fucking, you know, racist society. You understand? We live in a system of white supremacy, which is true. Right? But if I was to sit here and say, man, well, you know, I can't make any money, I can't walk outside, or I can't, you know, get a job because I'm black. Now I'm going a little extreme. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Nowadays, it's become really common. You see Chads with 6s, you see Chad lights with 5s, you see tall high tier normies with 4s.
Chads with 6s. Again, a woman's these children. It's okay. I'm gonna help. Okay. A woman's value is not how she looks.
No, a woman's value is not how she looks, but it mostly is. You see, a woman's value.
See, now we're getting into the young guy thoughts. See, and this is what I want. Okay. He said a woman's value is mostly how she looks. No, it's not. Now, you can value a woman for mostly how she looks, but when you don't have experience, right? That's why you're going to think her value is mostly her looks. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Value is mainly distributed in her looks and sexuality. Of course, a high quality woman with a great personality is better than a low quality woman with a terrible personality. But let's not act like women's looks aren't the driving force behind the reproductive success in the dating market. Even your boy Myron would agree with me here and call your take idiotic.
Girlfriend material is not contextually based upon her physical appearance only.
Yeah, and nobody said it is, but I don't care how girlfriend material a girl is. If she's ugly as shit, no guy is going to be physically attracted to her. And it goes the other way too. If her
Let me see what else he says.
Looks are good enough, many guys will tolerate a subpar personality. So yeah.
So he said, if she's ugly as shit, no guy's going to want to be with her. But if she's hot, on the flip side, they'll tolerate a subpar personality. So if a guy's going to tolerate a subpar personality, what does that say about him by tolerating that just because she looks good. But also the argument that if she looks like shit, nobody's going to want to be with her. What you got to understand again is looks are subjective. So a woman can find men who find her physically appealing, whether she's tall, short, skinny, fat. They can, listen, if you're a guy who likes fat women, right? Fat women are physically appealing to you. So you can't say, well, she's ugly because she's fat. No, she's ugly to you because she's fat. That's your opinion. But let's go to 225. 225, what's popping with this?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Locario? I am basically 23 years old, and basically all I want to know is like.
Wait, hold on. You taking a free call or you donated?
Free call.
All right. So what's going on?
All right, what's going on? I'm basically 23 years old, and I've basically been going out like solo, and I basically just need some advice on like what would you give like young guys like me. What kind of advice would you give young guys like me, like to get like some momentum started?
So
like,
what?
With females, because I've been going on solo, and I basically like have like don't have too much experience with women. I just want to get something going because you know, like when most girls go out, it be like with their friends or with their boyfriends and stuff like that. It's just I'm just trying to get some momentum.
So hold on. So when did you start going out and approaching women?
Like, you know, recently, you know, like going to bars and football games and stuff like that. And I'm mostly solo. And, but
that's what I'm saying. When? That's what I'm saying. When? Like, when did you start this? So I'm talking about like at what point did you start going out? Like, what date? Like when did? Huh?
The last few weeks.
The last few weeks. So what? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So you just started going out talking to women for 2 weeks in your entire life?
No.
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking you, how long have you been going out and approaching women?
For years.
How many years?
No.
Huh?
5.
You said 5?
Yes,
what's going on with your phone, Van? You cutting in and out. So you said 5 years?
No. Like I've always been talking. Like just shooting. I've always been shooting. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so how many years have you been doing it?
I'm 23, so like just all my life, pretty much. I've always been not scared, but I've gotten better.
Caller. I need a number. I'm asking you how long, do you start when you was 18?
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah.
Okay. So how often are you talking to these women? You doing it every day, once a week? Like I need some numbers, fam.
Not every day. I would say like once a week because I'm working and going to school.
Once a week. Okay. So now for the past 2 weeks, how often were you talking to women?
Once a week on the weekends.
So you went out once a week for the past 2 weekends.
Yeah, once a week because that's all I have. You know, the Saturday.
Okay.
I work.
Now, what do you want to happen when you approach women?
You know, you want to like almost like an instant date. You know what I'm saying? You know, hook up with them, stuff like that.
You want an instant date?
Yeah, hookups basically.
And where are you going to take this girl on an instant date?
It's kind of hard to do that. Like when you like when you go into bars and stuff like that, it could potentially happen. But you know, like get numbers and kind of set something up for another time. You know, it's kind of hard to do it at bars.
So wait, caller, you have the TV in the background?
Oh, I can mute it. Let me
turn that shit off, please. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Yeah. I'm like, my God. Okay, so you're trying to hook up, right? Have you hooked up with any girls you approached?
Say it one time.
Have you hooked up with any girls you approached?
No, because like I say, just like the like the circumstances weren't there.
Okay, so you haven't hooked up with any girls you approached. So what do you say to these women when you approach them?
You know, like it just be small talk, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like you like let them know that you find them attractive, and like you know, like let them know like what they got going on, who they here with, where they from, stuff like that.
Okay, so when do you tell them you want to hook up?
I mean, like I basically try to like go get something to eat. You know, it's pretty late when it comes to being at bars and stuff. So I try to move it to a different setting, go get something to eat.
So if you want to hook up with them, why are you going to get something to eat with them?
I mean, so that you can kind of like fill them out, see if they're like kind of stable. You know, conversate the small conversations.
Okay, so if you're filling them out, why do you need to go get something to eat? That's what I'm asking. Who gave you that idea to go get something to eat?
Because you can basically fill them out a little bit more. Because you know, like in clubs and bars, it's music playing. You can
right. So why can't you take her outside the club, stand on the street, and then talk to her?
I mean, you could do that, but you can also like go get something to eat like in a nearby location.
But Caller, this is this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm trying to get you to understand why you're not hooking up. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why you're not hooking up is because you're putting all of this extra energy into all these other non-sexual things, and that's why you're not hooking up. So you're going out there talking to a woman about nothing, and then you're taking them out to eat to talk to them about nothing. And so therefore you're giving them all this non-sexual attention and time and energy, and that's why you're not able to hook up. Because in order to hook up, the women need to find you sexually appealing. Women are going to find you sexually appealing when you know how to flirt and build sexual tension. This is why I tell you guys to go to badboymembership.com and get the program, Master Sexual Conversations with Women, and also 5 ways to build sexual tension. Because if you don't know how to build sexual tension and flirt, you're not going to be able to hook up. These women are going to just use you for attention. You understand? Because it sounds like you're doing some PUA shit. You're like, oh, I got to take her to this location. I got to, get her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it sounds like you're doing.
Yeah. I got you. So you said basically be more direct.
Well, not only being direct, but you have to know how to flirt and build sexual tension. You see what I'm saying? But this is why you need coaching. So what I would suggest you do is you need to hit me up on the back end and get some coaching. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, consultation or something like that.
All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call, fam. See, a lot of y'all guys need a lot of help. You ain't gonna get it on a free call. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta actually, go out here and get some coaching. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's continue because it's gonna get spicy. Hold on.
Girlfriend material is actually pretty contingent on looks, unless of course you're like this expired old self.
Wait, so he said girlfriend materials is contingent on looks. This is what I'm saying with a lot of young dudes, right? What happens is a lot of young dudes, because they don't have experience, what they're so focused on is I'm attracted to this girl physically. She looks hot. I want to fuck her. You understand what I'm saying? And then so what happens is that that's all they go off of because that's the level or extent of their experience. But let's continue.
Who probably delusionally believes he's in his prime because he, eats up red pill coke for breakfast. But in reality, this guy will probably take any mid he can get. You could see it on his face. This guy probably is a bit of a white knight, loves women a little bit too much, just a tiny bit too much. And, if I was a woman, I would exploit him because he's probably the easiest guy to use as a beta bucks. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know.
They need to be a valuable person beyond their looks, just like a man who only focuses on his looks. But reality is, you have to. If your guy just wanting to be a pretty boy, you're cooked. You're done.
Now, I agree, guys should be masculine and all, but funny thing is, coming from him, this is insane cope. Pretty boys pull more than you and get more genuine desire from girls than you ever will.
And so why does this young guy have to be so disrespectful? But this is what I'm saying. Young dudes, what happens is that they think they know it. And I'm telling you, understand, I was this young guy back in the day where I was like, oh, I had that ego. Then what happened was when I got more experience and I started listening to the OGs, I was like, oh shit, there's so much more I need to learn and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because now he's saying, oh, the pretty boy is going to get way more desire than you will ever will and all this. No, it's not about being a pretty boy. It's about, are you sexually appealing and
Do you know how to build sexual tension? And when you're sexually appealing, it's a combination of your look, appearance, and behavior. So now he's just talking about the look part. And if you're a pretty boy, what happens is that you can get attention based on the fact that you look a certain way. Attention within itself does not equal or equate to sexual attraction. Why? Because a woman could find you attractive physically. Y'all start talking and she's like, oh, this nigga was cute till he opened his mouth, right? We all know this already, but let's continue.
Guys, ask yourselves, would you rather look like a pretty boy K-pop star or like this man lit over here?
You're done.
He said, would you rather look like a pretty boy K-pop star?
Okay. And what's a 6 to you is not a 6 to that guy. What's a 5 to you is not a 5 to that guy.
Yeah, clearly, bro. What's a 10 to you is probably a 3 to a normal person. Also, no one claimed looks aren't relatively subjective. I definitely think they're...
No. Looks are subjective, period.
They're more objective than this guy thinks they are. Like a 10 to me is probably not going to be a 1 to another guy.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. With young dudes, they don't understand. He said a 10 to me is probably not going to be a 1 to someone else. Yes, it can. Okay, let's just break this down simply, right? Let's say a 10 to you is a tall, super skinny woman with a small booty and A-cup titties and, what's those big lips that they get with the lip implants or whatever, right? And now what happens is that the woman I just described, that would be the 10, right? That can be a 1 to the guy who likes the opposite. So you got the tall, skinny chick with a small booty and A-cup titties, and let's say she's white, right? Now, another guy, the type of woman he likes that he thinks is a 10, is a thick chick with a fat booty, big titties, and she's black. And not only is she black, she's super dark skin. You understand what I'm saying? So that's basically the opposite of what I just described his 10. And so this is what a lot of these guys don't understand. They think that their subjective view of what they think is a 10, everybody's going to think is a 10. But this is what we're trying to tell you is that is not objective because everyone is going to have their own opinion on what the 10 is, which means looks are subjective. What is this? Why is this so hard? See, again, when you guys don't have experience, right, you're not going to understand this because this is what's going to happen, right? You're going to meet a woman that you think is really, really physically attractive, and she is not going to be conventionally attractive. You understand? So meaning that you think she's hot, but she doesn't look like what certain people would consider the hot woman, but to you, she is. You understand what I'm saying? This is what guys don't understand when they don't have game. What happens is that from their limited experience, right? They're thinking that, oh, well, I think she's hot. This is how a hot girl looks. So if this particular girl I'm looking at is a 10 and that's it, period. Ridiculous. But let's continue.
No, it's probably going to vary between 1 to 2 standard deviations at most. But this guy's acting like, oh yeah, man, like what's a 3 to you could be a 10 to me. Like, no, bro, no.
Yes, it can. This is like, I swear, these dudes, they don't understand this shit. Because he's like, oh, well, it's only 2 deviations. So if I think she's a 10, everybody else is going to think she's at least an 8. No. Let me tell you guys something. I've been coaching for basically 20 years. And what happens is that sometimes the guys I coach, they would send me pictures of the women that they're dating. Right? And before they send me the pictures, it's like, yo, bro, I've been dating this chick. I've been talking to, like, she's a baddie, bro. Like, she different, blah, blah, blah. And they'll send me a picture and I look at it and I'm like, she all right, but that's my opinion. But to him, he's like, yo, she's the baddest chick ever. You understand what I'm saying? No, this is what I'm saying. It's not statistically. No, it's not an out. See, this is what you guys don't understand. What you don't understand is that what you deem, like, for example, there's chicks that I fucked with, right? That were so thick, right? But a white dude will probably think she's fat. That's how thick she was. There's certain chicks that I fucked with that was so thick that I'd be like, yeah, she's a fucking 9 or a 10. But a white dude who likes really, really skinny women will say that bitch is fat. That's a 3. You understand what I'm saying? But to me, she's a 10 or a 9, whatever the fuck. Ridiculous. But let's continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Looks are more objective than this guy thinks they are.
But when you sit in your...
I hate when motherfuckers say looks. There's no such thing as looks are objective. Ridiculous. Let's continue.
Basement, and you put all these books on the fucking shelf to try to look small or try to look smart, you know, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, and you have muscles and frame in the back when you have neither. If I were you, I'd pick up one of the books I have in the back so your intelligence can catch up to your age, because you're 39, brother. Like, clock is ticking, man. You got to start a family ASAP instead of making videos like these.
Even when...
You know, another thing about, oh, you got to start a family. Let's continue.
They're interested. Like, I did 100 approaches, right? Yeah, sure. You know, if you do approaches in 2025, more women are going to be standoffish compared to like 10 years ago. I don't know.
Wrong. So wrong. You're so fucking wrong, you child.
Relax before you get a heart attack, Unc.
It has never, ever been a better time to cold approach than right now. That's how I know this kid's 1,000% wrong. They don't like you. Because if you constantly stay at home and you watch all this fucking black pill bullshit doomer content, it's going to poison your fucking mind and you're going to fucking exude misery everywhere you go. And
yeah, clearly this guy doesn't know me or the channel very well. I literally speak against black pill doomerism and encourage guys to cold approach all the fucking time. The point I made was that women now are on social media and aren't as open to real life interactions, but it's still very possible. Also, he doesn't know me. And
he's saying that women are not open to real life interactions. Yes, they are. See, again, the issue is the young dude is young. I think he's like 22, 23 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So because he's young, he doesn't have a lot of real life experience. Like he's just learning certain things. But most of the things that he's learned is from the internet, because I can tell based on his like the way he speaks, NPCs and the sexual markets values and the all that other shit. You understand what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Hasn't seen any of my approaches. Like, I don't approach girls thinking about the BP with a sad doomer mindset, you know, crying my eyes out. Like I don't know what this guy thinks. I approach women and start talking about the black pill. Like, nah, dude, I have normal positive interactions with women.
Women are extremely socially intelligent, exponentially more socially intelligent than men. And they see you and they're like, oh, fucking gross. No way. And it's not about how you look. It's all about how you make the woman feel.
Look, I definitely agree that how you make them feel is a big part of it. I've advocated for that on my channel, but anything this guy says sounds like hope. And I'm just going to be honest. Some women will just reject you off a cold approach for many reasons. It could be because of your looks. Like, it's not always about how you make them feel. Sometimes they could be going through a bad time. Sometimes they could be going through some shit. Sometimes they could be stressed in a hurry to go somewhere. Or sometimes they just don't like your face and your height. I don't know why that's so hard for guys to accept. Like, yeah, how you make them feel is extremely important, obviously. And it can convert a lot of low interest girls. But like, sometimes it's not about how you make them feel.
And it's funny because he said, I'm catching all of it. He said, you can convert a lot of low interest girls. No, you can't. You're not going to convert these low interest girls. They got low interest. That's what it is. You understand? See, when we talk about when it comes to attraction of how a woman feels in your presence, that also has to do with sex appeal.
You understand what I'm saying? And so what happens is that, yes, there could be women who just off the strength of your height, she's like, she doesn't even want to even talk to you at that point. You understand what I'm saying? But what happens is that more often than not, the height and the look and all those other things don't really deter most women. And this is why. It's because most women, like if you meet a woman and she's 28 years old, 35, even 24 or whatever age she is, as far as her being a grown woman, she has lots of experience interacting with men. So what happens is that a lot of guys who don't have experience, who are surface level, think they know the experiences that women have had, right? But what you got to understand is that a woman, for example, she may have dated a few guys who were tall, right? So her experience with those tall guys, let's say, for example, she didn't have, really good experiences. She might say to herself, you know what? Maybe him being tall isn't the end all be all. So now what happens is that she may talk to a guy who's not as tall as the other guys that she talked to. And I'm just using tall as a simple example. And she's going to be welcoming to that because she has experience dealing with tall guys. And now she understands, oh, well, tall isn't all it is. You understand what I'm saying? So then that's what happens, where she starts to see, how do I feel around this guy who is not as tall as the other guys I've been dealing with? Oh, I feel really good with this guy who's not as tall as the other guys I've been dealing with. Oh, I like this guy who is not as tall as the other guys I've been dealing with, because I feel good around this guy who is not as tall as the other guys I've been dealing with. That's how it works. Let's go to 401. 401, what's popping? Who this?
What's up, man? This is Prodigal.
What's going on? Are you taking a free call or you donate?
I'll take a quick free call.
All right, so what's going on?
Hey, nothing much, man. I'm watching the show. Good show. I just wanted to drop this on you because you said something that made me really think. You know how you was talking about how like looks is subjective and everybody a 10 to one person is going to be a 1 to another person, all of that, right? If you actually look at it, a lot of like stuff when it comes to like racism is kind of based on like that same concept. It's like there are some people who think there's like a ideal or perfect person or human being, right? And it's like there really isn't. Everybody's idea of who's really beautiful or whatever is different. But because some people want to stick to this idea that, oh, this person or that person is perfect, it makes us other people fight and go through issues. So I thought it was a really kind of keen that you said that. So I just want to put that in there. It's like the same type of concept really that some people have.
Well, the thing is, people got to understand that the world is a big place and people have different ideas of what they deem attractive physically based on what they grew up around, the society that they're in, meaning that if, they're like, for example, because he mentioned a K-pop dude, the K-pop motherfuckers, the way they look are attractive to those women in their culture, right? But if a K-pop nigga was in the hood, they're gonna look at him like, what the fuck? Like, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna be talking about he fine, and they're not gonna do that because the culture is different, and what those women deem attractive is gonna be different based on their upbringing, based on what they've been around, just in general, and based on their own individual particular tastes. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works.
Yeah, and you know what? I think a big part of the game, or like growing in the game, is just accepting that the world there are so many different kinds of opinions, and if you get hung up on your opinion or on other people's opinion, you end up, making yourself struggle. But it's like if you actually want to grow, you have to accept the fact that there are multiple viewpoints and opinions, and you just have to kind of go from there and accept it all. And I think that some guys get stuck, like, I can't get with this girl, so the world is over, when there's like millions of other girls who might look like her who have a totally different opinion. And it's all part of like taking it all in stride. But I just want to drop down on you. Good stuff, man.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate the call, fam. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, let me get back to this real quick. Where we at with that? Let's do that. Boom. Let's get that going here.
Sometimes it's about your face and your height, brother.
personality wise, they're all boring as shit, yo. Like most of these chicks are boring as fuck.
Again, flawed child, flawed, broken. I feel sorry for him, honestly, bro.
Dude, this guy's the biggest white knight I've ever seen. He literally, you could replace him for a woman, and this video would make a lot more sense. Like, she's not gonna let you hit, bro. She's not gonna let you hit.
Sorry for him. Just this guy's cooks, man. F's in the chat. This guy's so cooked. Because what do you like? You want a woman to fucking juggle for you?
Actually, that sounds kind of nice. Dude, sorry, I don't want a woman that just stands there like a scarecrow and uses me for money like you red pill copers. That's the thing. These guys will literally take anything, guys. I mean, just look at the way he looks. Look at his vibe and his personality. You can tell that this guy is such an internal simp towards women, respectfully, right?
He's saying that because there's no such thing as a boring person. If you have good conversation skills and you know how to talk to people and you have good life experience, everybody has a cool story.
Now, this is actually true. If you have good social skills, you can make girls open up and tell stories. But the point I was making in this video is that a lot of the young ones are extremely shallow and superficial in their thinking and behavior. Not necessarily that they can't say something interesting here and there. It's more about it's an internal character and personality flaw. And you would only know this if you hung around, you know, Gen Z women and you were around them very often, which I don't think any Gen Z woman would want to be within.
See, and that's another flaw that a lot of young dudes have, where because he said if you hung around some Gen Z women, you would see the difference. There's no difference. There's no difference. Because remember, guys, got to understand something, right? When you have game, right? When you deal with women, all the women act the same. You know why they act the same? Because they're responding to you. So when I deal with women, all women that I actually deal with act the same. You know why they act the same? Because I'm the same motherfucker and I give the woman instruction, direction, guidance, and that's only the women that I fuck with. So what happens is they all act the same. They all cooperate with me. Whether she's fucking 21, 41, or 61. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same shit. But see, what happens is that when guys don't understand the game, they think that, oh, well, you know, you got to do different things for different girls. And these girls are going to act different. And, you know, these younger girls, it's the same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. Let's continue.
2 feet of you, considering the fact that you're unkin, you're literally 40 years old, and you know, you hang out with Geomax chicks who are desperate for money. So, you know, don't talk to me about Western Gen Z women, because they would probably find you creepy as hell, even with your white knight simpy attitude.
It's like their social skills. Like Gen Z girls have the worst social skills I think I've ever seen, truly. And you know, you can tell that their appreciation for deeper things in life has really diminished. They're more homogenous. Their personalities are all the.
Personally, I like women to be quiet. Haha. Yeah, personally, I don't. Dude, red pillars like him should just buy dolls or robots with a hole that cook and clean. Like, I used to think this way before. Oh, dude, I just want a woman who shuts up. It's like, nah, dude, I actually enjoy a pleasant personality, and you should too. That's the thing about these guys. They just want dolls. They want robots.
Fucking same. And it's like, you know, it's like, even if you get one of these girls, you're going to be so, if you have any self-respect, if you have any, you know, passion for life, you're gonna be so tired of them. You're like, all right, man, this girl's hot, but what am I doing?
Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes a chick just gotta shut up. But you know, if you deal with quiet, boring women like these red pill guys do, first of all, if they're that quiet around you, they probably don't even like you. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like you can tell this guy hangs around.
See, if I'm dealing with a woman who's a rando, right? She could be quiet. I don't give a shit because you know, like, just do what I need you to do and go about your business. Now, if I'm dealing with a woman who is like my woman and I actually care about this woman and love her, and yeah, I want her to, you know what I'm saying, like, to actually, I want to have some conversations. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do things with you and exchange ideas. Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? But if it's a random chick, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Just come do what you got to do and then be on your way. But let's continue.
Around boring women who are just around him trying to extract his resources, because he probably doesn't get that much genuine desire. Like, I don't know, maybe in South Korea they find his kind attractive, but I'm just telling you guys, there's a reason he goes to Southeast Asia a lot. And it's not because he enjoys the culture and the weather and shit.
Dating this chick, like dead ass, bro.
Oh, I should be like you, who's just clearly has the zest.
And listen, dude, there's nothing wrong with geomaxing. Like if you go to Southeast Asia, you know, and you think it's better, like no problem, bro. But don't try to LARP as like this, you know, this high value guy who's figured it out and can get any women anywhere he wants. Like we all know you're lying, brother. We all know that you're not as cold as you try to portray on social media. Anybody could post pics on the internet. Anybody can try to paint the image that they try to paint. That's why I don't even talk about myself and my own personal dating experiences that much, because I know it takes away from the broader point. I don't want you guys to focus on the person speaking, focus on the points that they're making. And this guy so far, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was saying earlier. You got to focus on the points being made. But again, it's kind of hard sometimes when you're like going back and forth with a motherfucker, because then you go into the, oh, this motherfucker looks like a goofy and blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it can get that way sometimes, but it's always good to focus on the points. Let's continue.
Remotely valid. Like he hasn't made a single actual argument. The only thing this 40-year-old is doing is just emotionally lashing out at me, like just personally attacking me, which, dude, you know, you can keep doing that if you want, but no one's going to take your argument seriously if that's what you do.
For life all over you. Okay. Cooked. He's so negative. He's so negative. I want to like reach to the fucking smack him, you know, put on those boxing gloves so I can whoop your ass. You know, you need a
MLD is wilding right now.
Good ass whooping. You need a good ass whooping. You need a big broing. You need somebody to clean your fucking shitty.
All right, let's run it, bro. Let's run it. It'll be funny watching you get whooped.
And look, this is the thing. I don't think that MLD need to be coming at the dude that way, but I'm gonna tell you why he's coming at the dude that way. It's because what happens is that there's a thing about being loud and wrong. You understand? And when you're loud and wrong, it's irritating. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes, like for example, when I debated Marcus, right? Marcus is loud and wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So when dudes are, and this is what happens, the dudes who are the loudest and who are wrong usually have the most bravado. It's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. 2 + 2 is 7. What do you mean? You're stupid. Like, what are you talking about? 2 + 2 is 7, bro. Like, you're a dumbass. And like, what? You're loud and wrong. But let's continue.
By someone half your age. You know, what's funny is guys like him are like chihuahuas. They're dogs who bark the loudest, but they usually have the weakest bite. Like,
this is what happens when you get doomer, negative, watching all this fucking cancer everywhere on YouTube. It's abundant. Complaining content, everything is cooked content. Guys, gets more views.
Yeah, and I'm leveraging that and speaking that language to reach more people. Of course, getting more views is better if you want to spread a message. Like, why would I, try to make the title and thumbnail nice for you just to get the same amount of views you get, which means your message isn't being heard by enough people.
But see, the problem is this though, is with the young dude, YBCTooCold, I actually agree with that strategy. The problem is that he doesn't have the game to teach the people he's trying to get at. That's the whole problem. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so basically he's like, well, I'm using these terms to attract that audience. But if you're attracting the audience, but you still don't have the information to teach them what they need to know, then it doesn't, you're just basically doing the same thing as everybody else who don't know what they're talking about. Let's continue.
You ought to use the same strategies I'm using, brother. And maybe, just maybe, have you considered that everything is cooked content gets more views because everything really is cooked and people find it relatable?
You see what I'm talking about? So he said, well, you should do everything is cooked content because everything is cooked. And so they find it relatable. See, what you got to understand is that when you are the teacher, right? What happens is that people are not supposed to really find you that relatable off rip. You understand? Because if they find you relatable, that means that you are closer to the student than the teacher. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you want to be able to relate to them so you get their attention, right? So that they feel seen, but you also have to pull them in with the new knowledge so that they can learn. But if you're saying, well, everything is cooked, that means that you think just like the people you're trying to attract, which means you don't have the game to teach the people what you're trying to teach. Like, what do we do? You see what I'm saying? Like, it don't even make any sense, but let's continue.
Maybe people don't want to hear someone tell them to go to the gym for the 1,000th time like you. And none of these girls are dateable, yo. None of these girls even want relationships half the time.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're saying none of these girls are dateable and none of these girls want relationships half the time, how are you helping the people with that mindset that has the same mindset you're having by saying that type of shit? I would never say none of these girls are dateable, man. Like, what are we talking about? If you're supposed to be teaching guys how to attract women, why would you say none of these girls are dateable? You understand what I'm saying? Come on.
And
no,
I can already tell what this guy's gonna say before he says it. It's so obvious. He's probably gonna say something like, "Oh no, dude, it's just you that they don't want a relationship with," right? It's so obvious, bro. Let's see it.
None of these girls want a relationship with you.
Yeah.
The thing is, MLD is right. The problem is always you. If you're like, none of these girls are dateable, does it make more sense that none of the girls are dateable? Or does it make sense that the problem might be you? It's just like, you know, it's like when somebody, I'll see somebody in the chat, it's like, it'll be like, you know, 100 people in the chat listening to me talk. And then there's that one person in the chat typing, the audio's off. I can't hear you. The sound is messed up. I can't hear you. So is it the sound is messed up? Or is he the problem because his computer's messed up, which is why he can't hear me speak, but everybody else can hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. Let's continue.
Dude, I mean, typical red pill NPC dialogue. These guys are so predictable, man.
None of these girls want a relationship with you. Okay? Bro, when you get to the point, boys, okay, I'm fucking 39. I am a fucking senior citizen in this game, and I run laps around these fucking kids.
No, what you run laps around is Philippines and Thailand.
He's a senior citizen in the game.
You would get brutally rejected by any decent-looking girl in an American college campus, and I think you know this very well. That's why you geomax to Asian countries and cope by leveraging your money there. You're not slick, bro. If anything, an example like you is what proves the black pill. You're a victim of it. And yeah, seeing guys like him just makes me more black pilled because the point of my channel is helping guys not end up like this guy. 40, unmarried, taking any girl he can get, looking for scraps. I mean, yeah, you're
40. What is, I want to know what's his issue with this marriage shit. Like, listen, when he's 40, he better be married. This dude better be married when he's 40. Because he's like, you're 40, you're unmarried. That's like shit women say. You're a 40-year-old man and you're not married? That's woman talk. But let's continue.
rich, but what has your money gotten you other than girls who want to use you for it?
Like when a regular beta male guy like him, if he even gets in a relationship, okay, when a regular guy breaks up with a girl, she's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. When you're that dude, these girls will do whatever it takes to
Which dude exactly? Surely you can't be speaking about yourself because you're 39 and you travel halfway across the world just to get laid. So I don't know what you mean.
stay with you. When I was 19, I was dating an older girl. She was 23, right?
Yeah, I'm going to skip this. No one wants to hear this guy's stories from like 3 decades ago. So let's just move on.
But see, you see, that's the issue right there. He's like, nobody wants to hear this guy's stories from 3 decades ago. You should want to hear his stories from 3 decades ago because you might learn something. Because notice, he's like, oh, well, so basically what he's doing is this. He's making a statement about MLD. Well, you're overseas and paying these hoes and you're geomaxing or whatever the fuck these guys call it. Again, these terms that they learn on the internet, right? So he's assuming he's over there because he's tricky. Like, for example, Eddie Fuse, right, who has heavy game, moved to Thailand.
he didn't move to Thailand because he had to go to Thailand to pay bitches to fuck. No, he could get chicks wherever he was at. He just moved to Thailand because the money was, you know what I'm saying? He was making a certain amount of money and it was cheaper to live over there, right? So now what he's doing, and this is what a lot of people do, is he's assuming that MLD is over there tricking. Now, if he finds a video where MLD is like, hey guys, I trick. Fuck all of this game shit. I'm going over there to pay these chicks and I'm gonna get this shit cracking. Then if he says that, cool. But then when MLD says, well, let me tell you about this girl that I was fucking with when I was 19 and she was 23. He's like, well, I don't want to hear your stories from years ago. So you don't want to hear the stories from the old head from years ago that could actually give you some insight, but you want to make up whatever story you think is happening based on what's going on now without the accurate information. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because listen, I've seen people do the same shit to me where it's like goofy shit where they'll come up with these assumptions, but they don't actually have the accurate story. So for example, like I've had, and I'm not gonna say the name, they know who they are. I've had motherfuckers go on my Instagram and take screenshots and pictures of me in pictures with women. And they'd be like, oh, look at this girl that Locario was dating. I'm like, nigga, I never dated that woman. That was a woman at a show that I was speaking at and we took a picture. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem is that a lot of these guys, what happens is that instead of them actually seeing what's happening, they just come up with all these things that they think in their heads without any accurate information. But let's continue.
But you have to become the man, okay? You've got to be that guy. Money, muscles, game, frame.
Money, muscles, game, frame. I mean, dude, listen, I agree that these things matter, but notice how there's no mention of face and height here. This guy is so out of...
Hold on. Let's go to 469. 469, what's popping? Who this?
Hey, this is Jamar. I donated 5.
All right, that's what's up. Appreciate you. So what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, so I don't know if this is like a question or not, but how do I fix the problem, which is the source of the problem, which is me?
You said, wait, say it again? You said, how do you do what?
So you mentioned earlier that, like the guy on the screen mentioned earlier that you're the source of the problem. So if I know I realize that I'm the source of the problem or all my problems, how do I fix the source of the problem, which is me?
Okay, so I'm gonna do a Steve thing. So if you want to go to, if you want to be a doctor, you go to where?
To a doctor.
You already know where I'm going with this.
Go get coaching.
Right. So if you want to be a doctor, you go to medical school. If you want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. If you want to learn the game, you get coaching. So what I'm saying is that the way that you fix, see, this is the thing, right? Is that you could actually figure it out on your own, but the problem is that it's gonna take you longer, right? So basically, what I'm saying is this: is that when you get coaching, a lot of times guys try to cheat the game, right? But the only cheat code is coaching. You understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is that the information that you would need to know on your own would take you probably a few years, right? When you get coaching, you get that information now so that you can actually start understanding where you're fucking up and going wrong so that you can fix it immediately. Now, the problem is that you can't understand where you're fucking up because you have to learn the game. Just like a person who doesn't know math is not going to realize why they keep saying 2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 is 8 until they understand how to add and subtract and all that other stuff. You have to learn the things so that you can actually do right and do better, right? But the thing is that if you don't know math, you're not going to know how to do anything. You understand? You're not going to understand the language of it, right? So it's the same thing where when you're trying to, get to a certain point in the game, you have to get the coaching in order to see those blind spots. So you got blind spots and you're not going to be able to see it. You're going to have to work with someone so that they can see the things you don't. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
That's really all it is.
What if I got coaching from someone else, but it wasn't really because like my perception of coaching is like, okay, when I get coaching, like how do I convey my problems where I'm messing up at? Because I got coaching for somebody else in one of like the, from the guys from the, Real Game No Theory show or whatever, but I'm not going to say who it was. But I don't know, like, if I got what I want. So I'm trying to figure out like who do I actually go to.
So wait, so you got coaching already?
Yeah, I mean, I got coaching for one of the guys, but I'm not gonna tell who it is.
But this is what I'm saying. Did you do what they said to do?
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't really like it was more like just talking. Like, it wasn't really, like a strategy or anything like that. He was like, well, I'm not gonna give you. He's like, I'm not gonna give you something what to do because he's like, it's like it doesn't. I don't know. He guess he said it wasn't gonna work. So I was like, okay.
So let me ask you a question. How many coaching sessions did you have?
Well, I only got that one. I was just like sort of like testing the waters because I ain't never got coaching before.
And how long was the coaching session?
That was like almost 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm saying how long was the like an hour, 2 hours? Like how long?
It was a 30-minute coaching, but then it turned to an hour, so I paid him for his time for the extra 30 minutes, so it turned to an hour.
Okay, so
I said, hey,
let me ask you a question. Do you think, how old are you?
I rather not say.
No, man. Well, are you over 30?
Like, why is that be that?
No, I'm asking you. Are you? But see, this is what I'm saying.
Okay,
see,
yeah.
No. Okay, so notice. Check this out. I asked you a question, and you said I would rather not say, which means you're resisting, right? So you're probably resisting also the coaching that you're getting, which is why you're not actually, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of shit that we see already in this situation. Now, you trying to tell, so you say you're in your 40s?
No, I'm like, no, I'm like in my 30s.
Okay, you're 30. So now, so now you think that you're going to get, you think in a half an hour or an hour is going to be enough time to fix 30 years of conditioning?
I mean, like I was trying to get some insight, but I don't know if I was asking the right, like from my perspective, I wouldn't say it was his fault. It's like I wasn't prepared to like truly go in, like what was my problems? You know what I mean? It was like sort of like delays over, and then he's like, I'm not gonna give you this, so we kind of like just talk a little bit, and then that was in the coaching. So I was like, okay, I didn't. Right,
but I caught something you said though. You said that you didn't get any technical or technique shit. You just said that earlier, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is you're coming into the coaching expecting to get what you think you need. Does that make sense? Like, so what I'm saying is you're coming to the coaching saying, I need this. The coach is telling you, no, you don't need this. You need this. So what happens is that because you thought you needed this other thing, you reject what is being given to you that you actually need. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So in other words, you said I just wasn't listening.
Right. Exactly. Because you're like, oh, well, I expect when I get this coaching session, I'm supposed to get 1, 2, 3. And then the coach is telling you A, B, and C.
I wasn't going in like that. I was like trying to figure out, because basically what I put in was like, I needed help with flirting and then leading, but it didn't really lead to that. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm having problems with flirting. I mean, I know that I was having problems with flirting, but I was also having problems with leading, like leading the conversation, like leading from the get go. And so that's what I was trying to like get from him, but I didn't really I guess I didn't get that from that hour of coaching. That's why I paid for that extra couple of 30 minutes.
Right. But this is the problem though. And I caught it again. So what happened is that you can't flirt unless you're at a particular mindset. You understand what I'm saying? So you were looking for, basically this is what happened. You were looking for the coach to tell you, hey, say this at this time and at this point of the conversation, and then say this at this. That's what you were looking for. You were looking for tactics, right?
Not really. It was more like I was trying to understand, like, what was I doing? How was I not flirting from the get? Because I know, like, I hesitate
And I was trying to figure out what was I doing that's not causing the flirting. Like, am I actually flirting? Like, I couldn't understand. So when you and Miles was going to have that call, I wanted to go to it because I knew that was one of my issues, but I didn't, at the time I didn't have any like funds to go there. So I was trying to get it from him. Like, see what was going on. Like, I didn't understand like what I was doing. And sometimes when I do go out and practice, when I can go out and practice, I try to like watch myself, like interact with the girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. And then I'll go back and say, okay, what did I sort of did wrong? Like, oh, okay,
right, but
I did that wrong.
this is the problem, though. This is the problem. What I'm saying is that you can't effectively flirt, right, if your mindset isn't right first, because the flirting happens as a result of your mindset. And so what I'm saying is that the problem is that when you are coming into a situation where you're thinking, well, this is what I need in this situation, but you don't even know what you need because you don't even understand what you need to get to the point of where you're trying to go, which is why you get the coaching. You see what I'm saying? So have you ever watched The Karate Kid?
Yes.
Okay.
I watched the old one.
Right. So you're Daniel's son. And you're like, why I gotta wax on and wax off? That's what you basically did. You see what I'm saying? And that's
I got you.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that, see, the issue and the issue is this, right? Is that if you are in a situation where you're getting the coaching, what you got to do is that you got to come with an empty cup. Your cup was already full when you came to the session. You see what I'm saying? So that's the issue. You see what I mean? So you got to come with an empty cup. And then this is what can happen is that if you say, okay, I did this hour session, right? This is what we went over, right? Now, based on what we went over, right? This is something else that I need to figure out based on this, but you got to pay attention to this first to even get to the next level of what you're trying to do over here. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you're disregarding this, which is the thing that you got, then you're not going to be able to get to the next step. You see what I'm saying? It's just like somebody like Daniel's son say, well, I don't want to wax on, wax off the car. If you miss that part, then when the fighting comes, you're not going to know what to do because the fighting is attached to the waxing on and waxing off. The flirting that you're trying to understand is attached to whatever you got in that coaching session. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, as far as the empty cup come, I mean, like that's gonna be hard to do when you got so much shit in your head. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Because that's so much biases that's there. That's
caller. But this is the problem. You have to come to the session understanding that you don't know. So everything you basically shout out to 50.
That's what I try to do. That's what I was trying to do.
But you weren't. That's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying. You didn't. That's what I'm saying. You still came with everything because this is what I'm saying. Shout out to 50. He said, everything you think is wrong. Because if it wasn't wrong, you'd be where you need to be. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to get you to understand. So what I'm saying is that you need to understand that, hey, the stuff that I'm doing is not working. Let me come to the situation with an empty cup and just listen and take notes of what's happening. You understand? Because then what you can do is this. If you take notes on what's happening, then you come back and say, hey, I know you told me this. I'm having trouble understanding how this connects to that. You see what I'm saying? How does what you told me connect to me getting better at flirting so that I can, you see what I'm saying? But you have to pay attention to the part first, because then what happens is that that's how you make the actual connections to what you actually need to do. But if you're coming in like, well, I expected this, then you're not paying attention to what's happening and disregarding it, which is going to make your progress slower. That's what I'm trying to tell you, fam. You know what I mean? So you gotta be open-minded to the coaching, because this is the thing. Understand that in order for you to be a good follower, right? You have to allow the leader to lead. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you see what I mean? So you're not a good follower. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're not coachable. You have to be coachable. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the important thing. If you're not coachable, it's going to be tough for you out here. You understand what I'm saying?
And all right, I gotta get that coaching from you. That's I don't know. I don't know,
No,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
It's
No. Go back to whoever was coaching you. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
No, like that's because I don't. Nah, because it's just gonna. Because now if I get coaching from here and then I go to you, it's just gonna be like two. Like that's what.
You see what I'm saying? You're not coachable. I'm telling you to go get the other coaching from the person you were coaching with. And you're like, nah, man, nah. You see the resistance? That's why you're gonna lose. That's why you're not coachable, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
All
bro,
right.
come on, man.
No, I wasn't trying to get coaching him indirectly. I was just sort of like testing because I ain't never got coaching before, so that was my first time actually.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. Even your words, your language exposure. Well, I was just testing it out. You don't test it out. You jump all the way in. That's why, you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't just dip your toe in the pool. You have to dive in. You see what I'm saying? And that's the issue is that you're not diving in. You're just like, well, I was just, just seeing a little. No, you have to make a choice. You understand what I'm saying? To say, okay, this is what I want to happen for me, and I'm going to dive in and make it happen. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna dip my toe in, because what happens is that when you're doing that, you're not actually immersing yourself in the teaching so that you can actually benefit, so that you can actually have progress. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say was like I don't know if that was the right coach for me because it's a bunch of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm choosing someone, so I'm like, okay, let me choose this person and see maybe if I resonate with him. Then let me go to this person and see, oh, I may resonate more with this person because I got coaching from another person too on the show a long time ago, but I wasn't feeling his style, so I just sort of, you know what I mean? Like that's what I was trying to say.
Y'all motherfuckers, I swear, like y'all just be like, I swear, y'all, it's like, bro, listen, you have to be coachable. That's your main problem. You're not coachable, fam. You have to be able to humble yourself, take the information and apply it. And then if you have questions on the information, go back to the coach and say, hey, I did this or I listened to this, but I need to know, what do I need to do next? You see what I'm saying? So so the thing is, that's not going to help you in 30 minutes or an hour for fucking 30 years of conditioning.
Okay. All right, man.
You see what I'm saying? All right, call. All right, man. I appreciate the call, fam. All right, peace. All right, I'm telling. Listen, man. You guys gotta go in assuming you know nothing. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. All right, we're gonna do a few more minutes of this, and then we're gonna wrap it up because I'm probably not gonna get through the whole thing because it's pretty long. Pause. But let's continue.
Of touch, bro. Money, muscles, game, frame. Like, first of all, the only one you have out of these three is money, because that's your main bread and butter to getting laid. Like, what game are you using, bro? Where's the game? Do you even have infields? Like, where's the game, bro?
He said, do you even have infields? The PUA stuff, man. The PUA stuff. Crazy. Okay, call back. I saw you call back. All right, let's continue.
Muscles as well. You're not even that muscular. You have a decent physique. You're decent looking as well, but I mean, money, muscle.
What is this with? I don't understand how why guys be talking about other dudes looking a certain way. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you don't got muscles and you look decent. Like, what are we talking about? But let's continue.
Game and frame. That's hilarious.
I just feel like a lot of these chicks, because of social media, because of TikTok, because of the influx of attention that they get.
This guy's so full of himself. I bet you this guy probably looks in the mirror and jerks off to himself.
Dude, this entire video, you've been glazing yourself, talking about how you're that.
You see, we're getting away from the points. You can't do that, MLD. You got to stick to the points. Let's continue.
Dude, and are so successful with chicks. I haven't even talked about myself once in this video so far. And I think you're just projecting your arrogance onto me. Guys, I hope you see what I'm seeing here, guys.
So in love with himself. I've noticed that's a pattern with these black pill guys. They have massive egos,
The thing is, I'm not even fully a black pillar. Like, I've incorporated the black pill into my worldview, but if you watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I take a more balanced approach. I think your beef is with guys like Rehab Room and Godus. Like, you really picked the wrong guy to beef because we agree on a lot more than you think we do. Unk, I wish you would look past your arrogance.
Yo, the way he say Unk.
And see that. Not because they went bad. A lot of them were master classes, really good in fields.
Oh, they're master classes. Oh, so so let me get this right. All the women suck, but you're still the man, and you fucking picked them all up. But we can't see them on YouTube because they're just too good for YouTube. But if we sign up for your shit, then we can see them. Oh, great. Sounds like a total authentic pitch to me, guys.
Yeah, you're not entitled to seeing my shit. I can post my own content wherever I want to post them. And if you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. No one's pointing a gun to your head saying you have to see my infields. If you want to see them, you can join my community or don't. It doesn't really matter to me. Think of it like exclusive content.
But the point I'm trying to make is that, like, young women nowadays compared to young women just 10 years ago are so different in their behaviors.
So how does this fucking child even know? Okay, even assuming he's 28. At 18, you had like a psychology degree and you just knew women were different 10 years ago?
This guy seems to think that you have to experience something directly firsthand to know. Brother, the statistics don't lie. Look at the percentage of single men compared to single women and how that's changed over the past 10 years. It seems like this guy's just completely unaware of how things can change in such a short time. And part of that is his old age and the fact that a lot of these older guys just don't really relate and understand on like what.
So he said 10 years, this guy was like 12, 10 years ago or 13. And he's like, well, you don't need to be there. You can just look at the statistics. No, you have to experience. Guys, okay. So there was a stat online. Hold on, let me take this call real quick. 770. What's poppin'? Who this?
Yeah, man. It's Miles from Atlanta, man. It's a couple things you just wrong about.
Yo, hold on. What's all that shit in the background?
You said my background messed up?
Yeah, no, it's loud as fuck. Where you at? You telling you got a bunch of trucks or some shit? You got to go into quiet.
Okay.
You got to go into
okay. I'm gonna call back in about a minute or two.
Yeah, go in a quiet area. All right, so this dude is like, a bunch of years ago when he was 12. And he's like, the statistic, like they had a stat that says 76.3% of statistics are all fake. Right? Now, what's funny about that stat is that if that's true, then statistics are bullshit. But if that's false, that also means statistics are bullshit, because then that would mean that statistic is bullshit. Right? So a lot of times when guys don't have experience, what they like to do is they like to go to statistics. But let's continue.
The younger guys are going through. Yeah, it's true that I was 12 10 years ago, but that doesn't mean I don't have an idea or understanding of what it was like compared to now. In the same way, you can't claim that someone doesn't understand historical events because they weren't present during the time they happened. It's like things are very well documented.
So his excuse is, or his example is, well, people understand historical events. Lots of historical events are basically fabricated, meaning that they are not exactly what happened. They make the story up for the winners are going to be the ones that win the situation. They write the story. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He watches Hidden Colors series, right? So they debunk a lot of stuff that history tried to say, oh, this is how it was. You understand what I'm saying? This is like ridiculous. So you were 12, 10 years ago. So now to understand what happened 10 years ago, you're going to look up the statistics of what happened to understand what happened when you were 12 when it comes to dating and relationships? Like, what are we talking about here? This is crazy.
And it's not that hard to know how things were, or to at least have a general idea. Just because I wasn't on the Titanic doesn't mean I can't have knowledge that it sank.
They don't
No, it's not the fact that you need to have been on the Titanic to have knowledge that it sank. The problem is that what he's not understanding is when it comes to dynamics between men and women in a relationship, right? What happens is that you have to go off of your individual interactions with women to understand how things are actually happening. Now, if you're going in your individual interactions and you're having a hard time with women, that means that you are having a hard time with women. That does not mean that everybody else is having a hard time with women. So if 10 years ago, right, a guy was in his 20s or 30s, right, and he says, man, 10 years ago, shit was hard as fuck. Or let's say he says 10 years ago, shit was easy, or whatever the fuck it is. He's just talking about his particular experience, right? So if he had an easy time, somebody else, particular experience, they had a hard time, and vice versa. You understand what I'm saying? K-Zach said nothing funnier than a guy who has been dealing with women for 5 years trying to tell guys who have been dealing with women for 30, 40 years about it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, it's okay to be young. It's okay. Guys, listen, it's okay to be young. It's fine. You're still learning. It's okay. But let's continue.
Understand, if you want to be a maximum seducer and you want to be really good at game, you shouldn't be fucking focusing on the girls, you dumbass. I mean, on yourself, you dumbass. You focus on the girls.
I'm not struggling. Like, my dating life is fine. I can bag these chicks. The point
I could bag these chicks. I could. I just choose not to.
Yeah, I can bag them. It's not an outlandish thing to say. I don't feel the need to boast or brag every 2 seconds like this guy. But I said this specific thing because I knew many low IQ people like him would interpret this video as me crying.
All right, 770, what's popping?
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, man, you got a couple things wrong. I mean, some things you're saying is right, but a lot of things you're saying is kind of wrong.
Hold on. Did you donate or are you taking a free call?
Shit, I'm taking a free call.
All right, so what's going on?
What I'm saying is a lot of things you've been saying is kind of wrong. Shit, the first thing he was talking about, and I was kind of listening in and out, but shit, when it comes to the woman's look, she was talking about, what a 10 to me and all this, is a 1 to you and a 1 to me is a 10 to you and shit like that. That's completely wrong. Cause shit, ain't nobody gonna say Leslie Jones is a fucking 10. And I'm not saying that my 10 gotta be your 10, but I'm saying that if I think a woman is attractive, 9 times out of 10, probably 99% of the time, you're going to say she attractive as well.
No, I'm not.
Now, I do understand when it comes to the ethnicities and shit like that, like a Chinese motherfucker, they probably ain't going to say somebody who's black or somebody who's Hispanic or whatever, because we all kind of look similar, blacks and Hispanics, depending on where you go, like Brazilian and shit like that. I understand. I've been overseas. I've done it all. Africa, all that shit. But I'm saying, like, now, there is a difference in how people look at other people, like, I guess, ethnically or culturally. Like a Chinese motherfucker might not look at an African motherfucker like they attractive or whatever, or vice versa, or even a Russian or some shit. You see what I'm saying?
So caller, so who do you go to get advice on if a woman is hot?
Nobody.
Really?
That comes from me.
Oh, so if it comes from you, wait. So if it comes from you, then what are you talking about then? So if it comes from you, that means that if I find a woman attractive or unattractive, it's coming from me. So if you think a woman is a 10 and I say, nah, she's a 1, aren't we both right?
No.
Why not?
The reason why you're not right is because the thing about it is, I'm gonna say a woman is a 10, right? But you're not gonna say, just because I think she's a 10, okay, let's say you don't think she's a 10. But the thing about it is you still think she's attractive.
That's the whole point I'm trying to make.
So if
I'm not talking about my 10 is your 10.
Wait. So if you think she's a 10, you're saying that I would think she's attractive?
Yes.
Says who?
Says life experience. What you described before when you was talking about a white chick that's like.
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so basically what you're saying is this, is that me and you are agreeing on what is attractive, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Right, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm telling you is that just because you think a woman is attractive doesn't mean I will think she's attractive. That's what I'm trying to, it's really simple. I could think she's hideous. I could think she's ugly. I could think she's unattractive. What are you talking about?
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's capping what you're talking about. That's a lie what you're talking about, because I even myself, a guy might say, another man might say, oh, this woman is fine as hell. And I'd be like, well, she ain't really that fine to me, but I can't say that she ugly though.
But you can.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But you can. That's so caller. Okay, now check this out. Now prove to me that I'm lying if I say that a woman is unattractive. How can you prove it?
I can't prove it.
Okay, so if you can't prove it,
and you can't prove it the other way either.
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
Because it's subjective. That's what I'm saying. So if you think a woman is a 10 and I think that she is unattractive, you can't prove that I think she's attractive and I'm just lying. Prove it.
And see, that's my whole point of what you're trying to say. You're trying to take the exception to the rule and make that the majority. If let's just say a woman that you find attractive, and you say, oh well, she's a not, and I hate using this 1 to 10 scale because I think it's so much more intricate than that. But because I didn't see so many different type of broads. But the thing about it is, you say she a 10. I'm not going to sit up there and say that she's a 1. It's just not going to happen, because I know, especially because of how we're societally programmed in a way, I guess you could say, I know you're a black man. So I know that you're going to like something with curves. It's just that simple. So what about,
So what about the black man that don't like curves?
And that's what I'm saying. You're speaking to the exception to the rule, and you're trying to make that the rule,
right?
And it's not the case.
But call it. What about all the other guys who don't like women with curves?
How many men through your life experience, and that's why I keep on saying I don't even like to do the statistics. How many men through your life experience that actually like skinny ass bitches with no curves at all?
A lot of dudes like skinny women. What are you talking about? With no curves. A lot of dudes like that.
Now
shit.
You're gonna sit up here alone. See, that's what I'm saying. All this whole thing is kind of like opinionated, and you can kind of squeeze out of it because you can lie about it.
Bro, because there's no fact. You can't make a fact on whether somebody is attractive because it's your opinion. Tell me how you make a fact out of an opinion.
You can't make a fact out of opinion, but what I'm saying is, through life experience, what have you seen? You can't. Like for example, I can't sit up here and say, oh, black people like to make sweet potato pie instead of pumpkin pie. But we know through life experience, black people make sweet potato pie.
So caller,
simple as that. Black people don't make pumpkin pie, bro.
How many people are there in the world?
There's billions of people. Over what? Probably 9 billion people in the world right now.
Okay, have you personally talked to billions of men to find out what they found was attractive or not? I have not. Have you seen billions of guys fucking the women that they're fucking or choosing the women to date? You haven't. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying is, you're like, well,
what I have seen though, I have seen what it is on social media and through my life experience when I talk and I speak with other men and I see what they want and what they attract.
So wait, caller. So does social media give you more of what you want to see or less of what you want to see?
It depends on what your algorithm is.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, what I've seen with my own personal eyes. No matter. Oh my goodness. You are trying to squeeze your way out of it because you know what I'm saying is actually right. You couldn't even answer the question of
how many guys have you seen through your personal experience? Through your what? I don't know how 40 something. I don't through your personal experience. How many guys have you seen that actually like bitches with A cups and no ass?
I've seen a lot of dudes. Who
Is
like
it more
chicks with
than the
A cups
guys
and
who
no ass.
actually like curves?
Bro, I've seen lots of motherfuckers who like chicks with no ass. I've seen all that shit.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I,
That's what I'm saying.
I knew you. Is it more than the guys who actually like women with curves?
Caller, this is what you're not understanding. This is what you're not understanding. You're talking about caller. Listen. You're talking about your specific subjective experience, online or offline, which is limited. Which is mine is limited too, because I haven't spoken to billions of motherfuckers and all this other stuff. But this is what I do know, right? Is that everybody has their own taste. So if everybody has their own taste, then that means that everybody's taste is what they want, which means subjective. So there is no fact that you can say, well, this woman is, because I think she's a 10, you're going to say she's attractive. That does not mean that, because whatever. So if the guy thinks that the skinny girl with the small booty and the A cup titties is a 10, that means I'm going to say she's attractive?
You have never seen that in your life. Tell me,
I've never seen what?
I would give you I really would, if I were to ever see you in person, I would give you $1,000 if you ever. I've never seen a white, black, Hispanic, Asian. I have never seen a guy who likes a 5'11" or 6 foot tall broad that has A cups, no ass, and said that this broad is a 10. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Fam, we need to get up more, fam. I don't know what to tell you.
I've never seen it. And you already know that most guys will come and say, like, what the fuck? No, that is no man is gonna do it.
Bro, okay,
I can't say no man is gonna do it. There's always gonna be exceptions to the rule with anything in life. But by and large, that's not happening.
So based on your assessment, women who look like that have a hard time getting dick and a hard time with guys being attracted to them?
I didn't that, and see, that's what you're trying to do. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. They can get fucked, but that don't mean that they are 10.
No,
that don't mean they are 9 or 8. They can get fucked. It don't matter.
Call it this. What I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a lot of times when it comes to sexual appeal, right? Part of it has to do with the physical. So what I'm saying is that those guys who will fuck her, right, probably think that she's hot, which is why they want to fuck her in the first place. And just like Leak the Great said, pointed this out, there was a dude who called into the show and argued with me and Steve and he said Coyle Ray is a 10. You know who Coyle Ray is?
Yes, I know.
Right.
I know who and that's what I'm saying. That little girl right there, I'm not saying that she a 10, but I'm saying she is attractive. She is attractive.
But I don't think
I cannot lie about that.
I don't think she's attractive at all. I wouldn't fuck her with my enemy's dick. I don't think Coyle Ray's attractive at all. But you do, and the guy who called in does. That's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying is that this is the entire argument, is that everybody's going to like what they like. Like, I don't understand.
But see what you're trying to do. Okay, look, what you just said, she's not attractive at all. Now, and see, I liked how you got a real way with words and try to flip different concepts. If that Coyle Ray girl, if she was thick, if she had the curves that you like, you would want to fuck her.
Yeah, if she
I'm talking about face wise. Is she ugly?
I'm not attracted to her.
See, you look. I knew. See, that's why I say you got a way with words. You like to play with the words, bro. No. And I can see right through that.
This is what you're not understanding.
Right through that,
this is what you're not understanding. This is what you're not understanding. What you're not understanding is that if you asking me, do I think she's ugly? Right? If we're talking about what I deem beautiful or attractive or fine, then she would be considered ugly if we want to go ugly or beautiful. So then, yes, I would say she's ugly because I'm not attracted to her at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is someone like Ice Spice, I would say Ice Spice is hot because she has the whole entire thing that I would fuck with. You understand what I'm saying?
See, and that's what I'm saying with where the lies come in, because you're trying to say, okay, because she doesn't have the body that you like. Okay, well, and these are young girls too, so I don't even try to even look at them like that. I can see them, but I don't see them. You understand? What I'm just saying is just like you can see that her face is physically attractive, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Face?
And for most of us,
Whose
for
face?
black, go ahead, man.
Whose face?
Coi Leray.
Yeah, to you. This is what I'm saying. Like, so let me ask you a question. Why is it so important?
So is she ugly? Wait. Is her face ugly to you?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, why is it so important for you? Why is it so important for me to agree with you about the physical attractiveness of another woman? Why is that so important?
It's not important. What I'm saying is, by and large, most men are going to agree on what's attractive and what's not attractive. Just because all this little rating scale that we got, 1 through 10 or whatever.
Caller, what does that do for you? Why do you care if most guys are going to find so and so attractive? What does that do for you?
It doesn't do anything for me, but I'm just saying what you were speaking on was about looks.
Right. So
and
so that's what I'm saying. What's the point?
What I'm trying to make.
But that's what I'm saying. What's the point?
The whole point is that you're telling a lie about what women's looks.
What's the lie?
Ahead, what you saying?
What is the lie?
The lie is, okay, by and large, with most black men, and when I'm say black men, I'm including the Hispanics too and all of that shit, because they black too, even though they speak fucking Spanish or whatever the fucking Africans too, all of it, and all the motherfuckers. But I'm saying that we all have a certain idea of what a woman is that looks attractive. No matter what she is, and she could be black, light skin, or whatever, but we have an idea. Just because you might think she's a 10, I might think she's a 7, that don't mean she's not attractive. She's attractive. You're not going like Leslie Jones. I just said Leslie Jones when I first got on the call.
So
Leslie Jones.
So you think there's no guy on the planet that thinks Leslie Jones is not attractive, or you think that there's no guy on the planet that thinks Leslie Jones is attractive?
A very, very small percentage of men would say that. Okay, now, I'm not saying she ain't gonna get no dick. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a very small percentage of men think Leslie Jones is attractive.
Let's go with that.
Bottom line.
Cool. Let's go with that. So if a small percentage of guys think Leslie Jones is attractive, does that mean looks are subjective or objective?
Just make it simple and not talk around the question. Subjective.
Okay, so if it's subjective and it's not objective, then that means that dismantles your whole argument, because then what you're essentially saying is that you said that if the woman you think is a 10, I'm going to think she's attractive. But because it's subjective, that means that the girl that you think is a 10, I could think is unattractive because it's subjective.
And see and that's where you try to throw the monkey wrench in it, and that's not what it is. It's called logic. It's not logical. It's really not, because you're trying to take the exception to the rule to prove your point,
bro.
Why are you taking the exception to the rule to prove your point,
bro? It's not the exception to the rule. Do you know what objective and subjective means?
Yes, everybody thinks this one thing. Okay, let's say it's a chair, no matter what language it's in. Whatever. I understand what it is. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, you're trying to take the exception to the rule and make that.
But this is what I'm saying.
To prove your point. And you can't do that. That's crazy.
No, but caller, you keep saying the exception as if you know everybody's taste. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You think what you think is what everybody thinks, or what most people think. You don't know this. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. This is what you guys understand. See, the thing is this: the reason why you guys fight for this so much is because when you don't have game, you want things to fit in a box so that you don't have to think. You understand what I'm saying? So that you don't actually have to put in any work. So that you don't, so you're like, well, it's a fact, or these people are saying this is this, so I feel safe enough to actually go in this direction and feel this way about that. You understand what I'm saying? But what you don't understand is that when you understand the game, when you understand your masculine identity, when you understand yourself as an individual, then you know exactly what you like and don't like. And so what you like and don't like is only it's pertain to you. That's it. So it don't matter if all these dudes said this woman is or that woman is that. What difference does it make? It makes no difference to your bottom line. What the fuck is the point?
you went into a whole different direction.
No, but that's
I
the
wasn't even,
that's
we
the
weren't even
point,
speaking
bro.
on.
That's what I'm saying. There's like, what is the? There is no point. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So what I'm saying is that what is the point of your argument?
You talked about masculine identity. You talking about me thinking freely for myself and all this, and that was never even the point we was talking about. And I do all of those things, and I have a masculine identity before y'all even coin whatever that term is or whatever the fuck that is. I've been this way the whole time. What I'm trying to explain is the fact that you're trying to take a small percentage of man. You're trying to say, well, how do you know? How can you prove that? How can you prove anything when it comes to this thing we call the dating game? You can't really prove too much of anything. What you know is through your life experience and what you have experienced and what you've spoken with other guys about, other men about, but you really don't know.
So
you really don't know.
Caller, if we both look at a woman and we have different opinions, is that enough to realize that looks are subjective?
Yes, looks are what I'm trying. Okay, yes, looks are subjective. What the whole point I'm trying to explain, just to put it in a nutshell, looks are subjective up to a certain degree. After that, to a certain threshold, it becomes not subjective anymore.
So there are certain.
That's just what I'm saying.
So there are certain looks that are objective.
No, what I'm saying. You
just said at a certain point it's not subjective anymore. So that means you're saying it's subjective.
Okay, if that's how you want to put it. The whole point, because I don't want you to put it in your words, because you got away with words. I'm putting it in my words. Up until a certain threshold or a certain limit, it's like, okay, this woman is attractive. You might say she's a 7, I might say she's a 10, or whatever the case, but she is attractive. Now, when you try to say Holly Berry, I just want to say just Holly Berry. We get Holly Berry. Holly Berry's unattractive.
Caller. What I'm asking you is,
are you going to say that?
Am I going to say what?
Do you think Holly Berry's unattractive?
I mean, she's all right, but what I'm saying is this. Caller,
that's what I'm saying. You're going to say she's attractive. You're not going to say Holly Berry's unattractive.
So what about the guys who say that she is unattractive?
In her prime, not right now because she old. She an old ass broad now. But I'm talking about in her prime. But anyways.
So, caller, what about the guys who think Halle Berry is unattractive?
I have not met a man.
You haven't, but that doesn't mean that there's guys out there that don't think Halle Berry is unattractive. So, okay, so do you think that?
And that's why I keep on bringing it back to the exception to the rule. Because there's always going to be the exception to the rule with anything in life.
Caller, but this is what you're not understanding. See, even if you want to talk about the exception to the rule or look at it that way, it's still subjective. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you think that just because you think Halle Berry is attractive, right, or you think she's a good-looking chick or whatever, that every other guy or the majority of guys are going to think she's attractive. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you think. And what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't know the majority of guys. And what you got to understand is that, and I'll even take it like this, right? The reason why what you're saying doesn't make sense is because, and check this out, there has to be all these variations in order for people to be attracted to different people, in order for different things to happen with all those different people. Because if it was this thing where, well, this person is attractive to everybody and this person over here isn't attractive to everybody, then that would mean that there would be way more people gravitating to just this one person.
That's a cap argument. And you know why it's a cap argument. The reason why, because the reason why that's and you always keep on doing this noise, but I'm just saying the reason why that's a bad argument is because people get with people and have relations with people more than just off of looks. It's not just only looks, especially when it comes to women. It's more to it than just that. So with that argument that you're trying to make is really a bad argument, man. But anyway, I don't want to keep on going on about it.
So caller. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that, okay, let me ask you this last question. So just so, because I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. Do you think that physical appearance, right, is in sexual appeal?
No.
All right. Well,
Depend. Just it depends. It
all right.
Depends.
All right, man. Well, listen, man. It was good talking to you, fam. Seriously. Next time I see a woman, I'm gonna email you so that you can let me know if she's attractive or not. Because you're the end all be all, my guy. So, all right, bro. Appreciate the call.
Okay.
Fam.
Go ahead. All right.
Oh my Jesus. All right, we about to end this because it's over. We super overtime right now. Super overtime. Oh my goodness. But anyway, listen, listen, we appreciate everybody tuning in on this late night. It's almost 1:45 in the morning. God damn it. This shit crazy. But let me answer these questions really quick. It says, is high self-confidence necessary to get high interest? For example, if you have moderate self-confidence, can you attract high interest women? Well, this is the thing. A woman who has high interest in you would be attracted to you, but because if you're not confident, then that's going to make you way more unattractive at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? It says, how do you know if a girl is conventionally attractive? Well, it just depends on the culture and society you're in, and if she looks similar to what they deem is attractive, what they put out in the mass of saying this is what attractive is. It says, what qualities does a man need to have to consistently get women to pay for the hotel he picks for them to hook up instead of him paying for the hotel or splitting it? What? You say, what qualities? Bro, you just tell a woman to pay for it if that's what you want. And the thing is that if she's highly interested in you and wants that dick, she'll pay for it. Shout out to Kate says, no such thing as a moderate self-confidence. Either you're a confident man or you're not. Exactly. That's a fact. Where we at with this? It says, a woman DM me on IG, do you have a girlfriend? How do I respond to that to hook up with her? Sam, hit me up for some coaching, fam. So this says, last question. When I approach women, I get rejected a lot. Now you say it's a part of the game, but when you get rejected to much, it does something to you I can't explain. It's not a good feeling. Drew, get coaching. Get coaching, my guy. Get coaching. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, or actually I should say later today, for the 4:15 show. So make sure you do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me this late, man. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you guys go to shoplocario.com, badboymembership.com, masculine identity membership.com, and cunninghamelements.com. Make sure you guys check out all those .coms, and I'll holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. I'm out.
I can take the dick off the table based upon my standard. You aren't gonna get hold of this dick if you ain't being the woman I need you to be. You need to realize that you need to cook, clean. You got to understand that you're not the only woman, and if you can accept that, that's fine. That's just the beginning, because you got to work hard for me, because I work hard for me. So that means if you get with me, it's not going to be easy street, because I need to be satisfied, because it ain't no happy wife, happy life bullshit. It's happy Steve, happy Steve.
Being strong with self, understanding who you are, that is the biggest defense to bitch ass weak men.
And there's no excuses for the men not to be strong. But see, there's so many forces, and then so many men are embracing weakness.
I can't stand weak men. Like, I don't like to talk to them. It's hard for me to talk to these losers. I've always been a winner at the winner's table.
You know, I believe it's a sin to impregnate a woman who can't raise a child, you know, or impregnate a woman who's not fit to be a mother. And I think we have a responsibility in what we see today in these weak ass little feminine boys.
I can't tell another man what to do, but I can't dress feminine. I can't wear nail polish. It's just something that I can't do. Why? Because if I'm walking down the street and somebody's having trouble with a flat tire, I want them to feel that they can come to me and ask me, hey man, could you help me out with this? Because those are the type of things that a man will help out with. So I need to look like a man so they can know where to come for help.
Yeah, it is such a thing as toxic masculinity in the minds of bitch ass motherfuckers.
Talk about masculinity, assertiveness, authenticity, transparency. How can a guy who's straight up and honest with what he does be toxic?
If the media can train you to think something bad about it, you hear the word and you want to instantly have a certain reaction. You stop thinking, you start feeling. And when people learn to think and feel and not think through their feelings, that's when they can evaluate a person holistically. And they can say, is this toxic masculinity, or did I just hear something I didn't like? And why did I not like it? And only let me go within myself to see why.
I don't never look at no motherfucker and say, oh, that's a toxic masculine motherfucker. I never ever had, I didn't even know, that was an invented concept from a weak motherfucker that was like, I'm just tired of this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do and bully you over me with this bullshit.
What's going to make you successful is just understanding who you are and getting your mind right and being happy with who you are. That is the thing that's going to really make you successful. Because after you get all the toys, after you get all these things going on, you've had sex with all the women you want to have sex with, you traveled all the places, you're still going to be you, and you're going to always come back to you.
Why do I do this? Why are we even doing this documentary? I want guys to be in the best position possible. There's no way that I'm raising my voice or calling you a bitch ass nigga because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I'm calling you a bitch ass nigga because you doing bitch ass nigga shit. And if you continue doing bitch ass nigga shit, you're going to end up in bitch ass nigga situations. You get what I'm saying? So when I call you a bitch ass nigga, trust me, it's because I love you.
Game Kings 2, the definition of man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com.